It tickles my fancy.
Oh,
Okay.
Goosies. I don't have hair. Oof.
You got Marcos.
That's not. No, that's not.
Wait.
Yeah.
That's true. You do got me. Get over here, Marcus. Let me look at you.
They don't want it.
Tobin and Leroy. Hit it with a little journalism, but that was a decoy. Better have about me, boy. Okay. Leroy and Tobin. Hold to the show, man. Steers on the stars with the show, and till then his head won't open. Sometimes go taste like a snowman. No proof of my life, better more than no proof. Like I always wanted him, I never hated him, I never traded him, independent, I never ever traded him. You know what is a star? Like under the city, the driver's side flawed. Wish I could large, so many more. 10 in the more, never a bar. Hey, 10 in the more, 2 to the P. Nothing to you, but it's something to me. Handsome as ever and cute as can be. You can watch us on YouTube with viewing for free. Hey, this one time for the Twitch. This one time for the text. This one time for the phone line. Whole time, wonder what they gonna do next.
You know, I just wish you guys would stop the quibbling.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome on in. It is Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. Happy Friday to everybody out there. Alex Dono filling in for Leroy again today. What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm not doing that well, Tobin. Let me start off by wishing a preemptive congratulations to Vlad and his New York Knicks, because I told Tobin this off the air, the only bit of show prep that I wanted to make sure I provided for today, when I woke up this morning, I wanted to look up the officiating crew for tonight's Heat versus Knicks game. At first, I saw some fake news claiming that Scott Foster wasn't on the game, but then the official word came out that Scott Foster is the crew chief tonight for Game 6, and they snuck in Tony Brothers in the replay center. So listen, man, Vlad, congratulations!
Shenanigans going down. They got the A team in there for the Knicks. Ben Stiller must have called in a favor.
They got the extender. They got the
extender there. They saw last night. They saw last night in front of them. They're like, wow, didn't really think the Boston Celtics were going to pull that one out. Jason Tatum going from bum to hero in the fourth quarter. Be like, you know what's better than 1 Game 7? 2 Game 7s. Let's get Scott Foster down there.
Or 3.
Right?
Yeah.
Good. Especially who knows what's going on with Anthony Davis, if he's going to be okay tonight and all that stuff. But yep, Scott Foster is officiating tonight. The Heat Knicks Game 6 tonight from the Kaseya Center. Get to some headlines here, brought to you by New Palmetto Ford Truck Super Center. Why buy your truck in a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
Hey, thanks, Vlad. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, tonight we got Game 6, and as Dono has pointed out, Scott Foster, who was there with his shenanigans. I think it's funny that he's there tonight, Dono, because the Knicks fans spent all of yesterday cutting up highlight films of Bam Adebayo dirty plays, and you basically are just giving Hartenstein a pass to do whatever he wants, because we saw in that tech game too. I mean, he was basically putting Bam in like a rear naked choke and no calls.
I'm going to go over under 12 and a half minutes before Bam fouls out tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
Foster's going to make sure.
They should just have Bam should just stand in the corner until the fourth quarter, because there's no point, because they're going to call they're going to go Duncan Robinson on him. Just existing, they'll call fouls on Bam tonight.
I noticed, though, interestingly enough, in light of the Scott Foster news, the line has actually moved more in the Heat's favor today compared to yesterday. So the Heat, I'm looking, Tobin, are 5.5-point favorites. I think it was 4.5, 5 yesterday. I'm looking at Heat minus 5.5. So I might have to go full emotional hedge tonight. I might have
you're going to do heart insurance?
I might have to heart insurance. I may have to bet Knicks plus 5.5 and just hope the Heat win or win comfortably, so I can be good either way.
I don't believe in heart insurance. I feel like I'd rather go down double pain. I don't like money protecting my heart. I know this is a philosophy for a lot of gamblers, is just protect your heart with a little bit of money. I understand the philosophy. I'd rather just be all miserable. But look, Scott Foster knows Scott Foster. You're in that building. You haven't lost in that building. Jimmy Butler, big time bounce back game. I expect to look. You want to know how I know the Knicks are in trouble with Jimmy Butler? Jimmy Butler's putting up motivational quotes on his Instagram.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, dude. Big deterrent. Like, he's usually only thing that go on Jimmy Butler's Instagram. 3 songs he's listening on the day. A little bit of whatever shooting around he's doing in the gym. Maybe some beauty shots, and then, of course, coffee.
I might have to bring back the Dono TV switcheroo tonight. I see Dr. Toboggan is talking about all of his superstitions are going to be in place. I might have to do the halftime switch, living room to bedroom. But the problem was when I used to do that during the Heat's championship runs in 2011 and 2012, I wasn't living in the same house then.
Right.
So
You're living in a mansion now.
Right. So I don't know if the same trick that worked in my 2-2 rental is going to work in my, 9-bedroom, 6-bathroom palace. I don't know if the same mojo is going to work, but I will try it.
Look, it's also tough tonight because we got Panthers as well. Panthers are going to Toronto with their top hats and monocles. Hopefully walking out of there looking like gentlemen tonight and finishing off that series. So we have that as well. It's a busy. I don't know what you do in a superstition situation like that.
Yeah, it's
very busy.
That's a great point.
It's a lot to handle. I don't even know what time you have in a hockey game to do switcheroos or any type of superstition.
Usually second intermission is when I do the switcheroo.
That's when you would do it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, look,
I mean,
this is you got this tonight. It will definitely be interesting to see if there are any officiating shenanigans. We will definitely have an eye out for it. Maybe Scott Foster has gotten word and he wants to play it more down the middle, or maybe he wants to be more of a rat bastard. We'll find out. Tough to know. It's tough to know.
I'm hoping it's going to be harder for him to be a rat bastard at the Heat's house because it's easier to do that where you can be the hero and you can get the cheap pop at MSG, right? But down here at the K Center, careful walking back to your car tonight, Scott, if you don't do this on the level.
I always find that funny, dude. When I'm boots on the ground at these games, my favorite thing is how strict they are with, don't you look at the officials. They get a police escort from the court, from the locker room to the court, and then the court to the locker room. And dude, it's like the president coming by. It's like if you are anywhere near Scott Foster, clear. And like if I one time he's all like walk out, you walk down to the bowels there, the arena, you just walk out a push door. You don't know exactly like where you are at a sec. And it's just like I've gone in there one time where I've just got the no. I'm like, what's going on? Oh, the officials have to walk by because they're afraid some Johnny Thumbs is going to come by with a club and take out their knee for not hitting the over.
There was less security when Pope Benedict visited the Kaseya Center back in the day. Like if for Scott Foster, he rides around in one of those bulletproof glass bubbles when he's down here.
Scott Foster is Scott Foster, and I feel like Scott Foster, he's going to be like, I don't know, he might have a little pep in his step. Who knows what's going to go down tonight? But very exciting. This could be a really awesome night in South Florida. Get the weekend started off right. As I got to tell you, Dono, on the other side of this NBA stuff, first of all, the Suns got bounced. So Kevin Durant, congratulations on only picking the Suns and not considering any other team. That was a smart move. Go out last night with no DeAndre Ayton, no Chris Paul. They were there to serve you.
Yep.
And so the Denver Nuggets are moving on, but I love this Celtics versus Philly series because I genuinely wake up you can't lose. It's a house petty series. You can do no wrong. It's so great. If the Phillies 76ers screw up, great. If Boston is sad, also great.
Yeah. It's like I want the opportunity at revenge against Boston for last year, but I think I want Philly more because Jimmy would go into full Terminator mode against Philly in a way that I don't know if even like emotionally he could do against Boston. Because like what he would do to Philly, illegal in most states of the union, I think what he would do to Philadelphia. So I think
he's their daddy.
Yes. So I want to see that one slightly more. But then again, I still need the Heat to get through because the extender working tonight gets me a little bit worried.
Task at hand. But it's a lot like when Florida State takes on Florida, you just root for awful, you know? Yeah. You just root for awful, blocking each other. They embarrass themselves, something like that, like a 6-3 game.
Yeah.
That's what you got to go for. But like Joel Embiid being a mope yesterday, nobody gave me the ball. Great. Love it. Loved it. It's at that time of year again. Joel Embiid throwing his teammates under the bus. Everything's right on time. This feels like NBA playoffs.
And boy, the way Phoenix went out. I mean, they went out last year by 30. They went out this year by 25. It's like, obviously, KD, he thought he was going to do the Golden State thing where he just joins a championship favorite and he rides that wave for success. Now they got to answer some hard questions about how they want to build the rest of that roster this offseason, because that's 2 years in a row they're the conference favorites and it doesn't go anywhere.
Right. It's and like, it's Chris Paul, man. Like that's another thing, right on time. Like some things just don't change in the playoffs. Joel Embiid not coming up big and blaming teammates, Chris Paul getting hurt. These are just things that stand the test of time. James Harden, listen, I don't know. Honestly, James Harden, game 7 stinker, set your watch to it.
That's a great point.
I mean, it's going to be, I think it'll be one for the ages, but it's these are just things that are just like the seasons. You just know it's springtime because certain things are happening in the NBA playoffs. So looking forward to tonight. Scott Foster, tread lightly, dude. Tread lightly.
Have somebody start your car for you, Scott.
We will we will talk a little Heat coming up later on. Bally Sports Suns, Amy Audibert, of course, also on the call with Jason Jackson tonight on 560 WQAM. Just for a programming note on the radio side of things, guys, if you guys want to listen to the Heat game tonight, that is on 560 WQAM. 6:15 is pre-Heat. And then, of course, for the Panthers, AM 790 is where you guys can hear the Panthers. 6:30, they get their pregame going. Doug Plagans, Kevin Rogers, Billy Lindsay, the whole crew there, as the Panthers also looking to move on to the conference finals tonight. We will flip on over to football here for a little bit as the Dolphins schedule came out yesterday. Back after this. right, welcome back, everybody. It's Tobin and Leroy. Take you up till 2 o'clock here today. Busy night here in South Florida sports. Heat, Panthers, both going to try and close out their series tonight. Heat, Game 6 against the New York Knicks. Panthers, Game 5 against the Toronto Maple Leafs. You also have the Marlins back in action tonight. They are taking on the Cincinnati Reds. Exciting day for the Marlins fan out there as Yuri Perez is going to make his Major League debut. Youngest Marlins pitcher ever, although I would say they're burying the lead on today. It's good luck, Yuri. I don't think anybody's going to notice, but, we'll see what the box score is tomorrow, most likely. I'm sure there's some hardcores out there, but, it is what it is. It is what it is. Kid.
So it's not a day game, eh? It's a night game tonight?
Yeah, they're playing the Reds, I think, tonight.
I was hoping it was a day game so I could try to stack that before the playoff games.
It starts first. I mean, you might get to see his first pitch with how fast baseball is moving these days.
I'm going to do that, yeah.
Maybe you'll get to see Yuri Perez's first pitch before the puck drops, and then, I'm sure I don't know how the ratings will be after that.
Yeah,
puck
usually drops around 7:08, 7:10, something like that. So
you might get an inning, maybe two.
We'll catch.
Maybe two. We'll see. But yesterday, Dono, the Dolphins schedule was released officially, and we will play the tradition that is every day after this schedule is released. We got to play That's a Win, That's a Loss. So we will have that coming up next hour. Very excited for that. I know Vlad's very excited for That's a Win, That's a Loss.
I can't wait.
Tradition unlike any other, Vlad. It really is.
Better than the Masters.
Better than the Masters, dude. Better than the Masters. But yesterday, did you see how the Dolphins released their schedule, Donna? Did you see their social media page, what they did?
No, I didn't see it.
Well, the schedule release video, this has become a big thing now these days, where like the teams are really trying to do some cute stuff. And so the Dolphins, the theme was 2023 is going to be a movie. And so they turned like all the games into movie posters, but then like they actually like had the movie screen up there, and you had like Bradley Chubb and Raheem Mostert and some of the Dolphins all up there watching the Robert Hunt was in there watching like they're in the movies watching the Dolphins, and they're all excited. And then so every game like had a schedule release movie. I thought it was it wasn't Goosey's galore, but it was Goosey's. I thought they did a good job with it this year.
I'm gonna have to watch that because I went to the Dolphins website to see the schedule release there, but I missed that social media post, so I'm gonna watch that during the break.
Yeah, it was pretty good. They had the thing that was probably most viral yesterday on schedule releases. The Chargers did anime. I'm not an anime watcher.
Yeah,
and,
my wife loves anime, so she actually saw that one before I did.
Well, they had Mike McDaniel vaping.
Really? For the first game, for
the first game, you just see him. He's up there like doing some anime floating, and then you just see smoke come out of his nostrils.
I mean, it is
He
California.
wasn't vaping. Everybody needs to stop this just because he looks like a vapor. He is not vaping. Everybody just seems to assume because he's got glasses and he looks like that, he's out here vaping willy-nilly.
He's vaping.
Dude, he's not vaping. It was
Are you sure he's not vaping? I think he might be vaping.
I didn't say he was
It was
vaping there,
cold.
but he's vaping.
You think just in general he's vaping?
Yes,
I think in general, yeah, he's vaping.
I mean, look, I understand he appears to be somebody who would vape, but I don't think he's vaping. They're taking shots. Ridiculous.
I like Tennessee's.
Tennessee's was good. Tennessee's was funny. They stole the TikTok bit from the son and dad. Did you ever see that bit, Dono, of the son and dad on TikTok going over NFL logos?
Yes.
And so they basically stole that bit and went to people on I don't know what is it, Broadway? Is that the main street in Tennessee? So they like went there and they were asking people like, what is this? A doll? And like I don't know. It was like the funny one was the Cowboys, because everybody like these ladies swore up and down, oh, I know that. That's the Cowboys. And it was the Colts.
They called the Buccaneers the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. it was really funny, but plagiarized.
Yeah.
Stolen idea. I wonder if those if the people who did that bit originally, I wonder if they're upset that the Titans stole their idea.
I would be, unless they feel like, because it's not credited anywhere, right? Unless they felt like this might drive more eyes to what we did, but assuming it doesn't, I'd be kind of upset.
Yeah, I don't know what
but
to do.
isn't that a thing on TikTok? You all steal from each other, and don't the
Yeah, that
Chinese
is
steal
true.
our
There's a lot of
So, like, it's in the spirit of TikTok. The Chinese steal our information, and then the people on there steal from each other. So there you go.
It's all a full cycle. So the Dolphins, as far as their schedule release, they are opening up against the Chargers, which look, that's always going to be a juicy matchup because you have the Tua versus Herbert thing. That's never not going to be a thing, Dono.
Well, and it does annoy me though the way that these schedules go, where we got to play them at their stadium 2 years in a row. Like you can't
That is true.
You can't switch that up to be a home and home because it's not going to be an easy game. I mean, the Dolphins have overall more talent, but the Chargers beat them in their house last year. Of course, we are all Tua fans here on the show, but Justin Herbert is also a pretty darn good quarterback. That's not an easy road game, and you have your first 2 games on the road this year. The New England game is going to be easier, though, in my opinion.
I was surprised that was a primetime game. Like, I know that the word came out yesterday because they're like, oh, this is going to be Sunday. We thought originally that was going to be the Tom Brady game. But, like, out of the Dolphins' primetime games, the Dolphins got, I think, 5 of them.
Right. Yeah.
They were like 5 standalones. They got 2 Sunday nights and a Monday night. And then, of course, they got the Black Friday game, and they got the Germany game, which is still the most egregious thing on the schedule. But I was surprised, like, wow, we're going Patriots Sunday Night Football. Like, why? That's like, I don't feel like, does anybody really want to watch the Patriots?
You get it in early, but here's the thing. You get it in early where the Patriots at worst are going to be 0-1 heading into that game. That's why.
True.
So if you want to put the Patriots on prime time, you've got to do it early enough in the season before they're stinking up the joint. So that's probably the NFL's thinking. Like, we want to get the Patriots on prime time early. That's an interesting matchup. The world can watch Tua remain undefeated against the Patriots. We'll get that one out of the way.
Yeah, I just felt like there was, I was hoping Dolphins Bills would have been a prime time, and maybe end of the season gets flexed, so that's still a possibility because they leave that last week open. So who knows? But I don't know. I was just like, that's what we're going with. 3 out of 4 on the road. And here's the other thing that annoys me: these belly achers about the weather.
I know
they got their way. Like,
yep,
we got 1 game in September down here, and so no Belichick coming to Palm Beach Atlantic. You have no Bills complaining about it. They got their way. I'm upset about this.
Yeah, I'm annoyed by that too and I know a lot of people are like, well, it's fair because they don't have to come here during the heat. We don't have to go up there during a blizzard because they wrap up the season against each other in Miami. But Tobin, I prefer it the other way. I like the elemental aspect of it in either direction. I think it's cool that the Bills have to come down here usually in September or October and sweat their butts off. And then listen, I know everyone was annoyed by the snowball throwing and the blizzard last year. The Dolphins almost won that game. Like, the Dolphins almost beat them in that blizzard. I think it's cool to have the cold weather aspect at Buffalo and then the blazing heat down here when Buffalo comes down here. I think negating both of those by switching the dates, I think it's kind of a dumb cop-out. I wanted the elements in both directions.
I think this benefits the Dolphins.
So you don't have to go out cold?
You're going in October. It's not that cold.
We don't know.
Bro, it's not that cold.
It's
first
Buffalo.
week in
October, it might only be 5 below.
Well, I will say,
October.
It shouldn't be 20 degrees in October.
I will say, with climate change, there's no guarantee it's not 95 degrees in December for this game.
Yeah.
But
there's no guarantee.
Week 18.
I understand.
It's gonna be hot for them.
It's gonna be hot for the Bills. They're gonna be like, oh my god, this is.
I was there for that
I don't know.
Week 18 game, and it was
like it's
blazing.
It's mid-Jan. Like, it's going to be comfortable in mid-January. Like, unless that climate change really kicks it up a notch, I don't think it's going to be so inhospitable like January 17th or whenever that game is. So
I've never worn a hoodie less than this year. I've never thrown on a hoodie less than this year. We've had so few days where we're just like, wow, amazing weather. It barely existed this year.
Yeah,
it barely existed. Like, you always know you get like those few months of the year where you get like a little reprieve on your electrical bill because like you're just not cranking the AC that much. Didn't happen. I think I had like 1 month where you're like, that was a nice little breaky break. Right back to it. It's never been hotter down here. So I don't know if this is going to work out for the Bills, but I hate the fact that they're trying to make it work out for the Bills.
Yes, thank you. I don't like that.
That's what I hate.
I guess that OSHA complaint that they filed last year carried more weight than we thought. OSHA may have stepped in here and said, you got to swap those dates, NFL. You can't have that heat again for Buffalo.
Yeah. And then 3 of 4 on the road. They do get a bye, though, because they get that bum Russell Wilson here. So that's good.
That extra bye.
That's an extra bye, dude. You got Mac. You got to start off with Mac Jones and Russell Wilson back-to-back weeks. I'm a fan of that.
Well, that's going to make Tua look really good to have
It
Mac
should.
Jones and Russell Wilson in back-to-back weeks.
That should that should play in their favor. So we will play that's a win, that's a loss coming on up. But the thing that made me the most mad, their primetime games, going to Philly on Sunday Night Football is going to be a tough one. I mean, that's probably the hardest game of the year. Just looking at it right away. But I still don't understand this Kansas City and Germany. This thing is just it blows my mind.
It's frustrating.
I don't understand it. They could put any of these games in Germany. That's the game they choose,
Right.
You know?
Well, because usually they give you they must really want to impress Germany because they've gone pretty light on the London games. Like, didn't the Dolphins had the Jaguars in London? Sorry, Tobin. Again, I always feel bad when I drag the Jaguars.
The Jaguars live in London. That's what they are. You know, the London Cats.
But
the
then, like, you're taking a game to Frankfurt, and you're like, oh, we better use up like one of the most storyline rich games in the NFL this year on Frankfurt.
I'll tell you right now, I could point out the game that should be in Germany for the Dolphins.
The Lions game. Oh, no, they should have switched.
It should be Dolphins Commanders. That should have been in Germany. That reeks of Germany.
Yeah, I think they wanted to put Kansas City in Germany.
Why? Why do they deserve
because
Kansas City?
They wanted to showcase their players. That's why.
Did they have any German players on Kansas
No,
City?
remember. Listen, why was Brady and Rodgers in Europe last year? They want the big name quarterbacks to go to Europe. The game that should have been in Germany is Chiefs Lions.
I think
what should have opened the season Chiefs Dolphins.
I know that really should have been the opener. It should have been the opener. Like, this is a good opener. I'm not, Tua versus Herbert is juicy, but that would have been so good. So good. All right, we'll take a break. Flip on over back to the Heat. 15 minutes of Heat is next.
A pivotal night in South Florida.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560. Alex Donno filling in for Leroy. He'll be back on his birthday, which is Monday. I was annoyed, though, yesterday because, like, this guy called in on Hockman and Crowder on his vacation. What is that? You know, and the only reason I give him hell about it is because this guy bothers me every single time when I go on vacation. I just want to give him a little texty text on some takes. He's always giving, he's like, oh, you're on vacation. Save the takes. Oh, you're on vacation. And this guy's going on one of our radio shows, and he's just, I don't know what the hell he was talking about. Sandwiches, who knows? But, like, Dono, he's not doing his show, and he decides, calling in another show because I just got to get some takes out.
Yeah, it's crazy. It reminds me of, do you remember when Scott Van Pelt used to have a daily radio show on ESPN, but he was always out traveling somewhere for the network, and like he never did his own show. Like there was always somebody else co-hosting his show, and he would like call in as a guest on the Scott Van Pelt show. But Leroy's doing it even worse because he's missing his own show. He's calling in on a guest in other shows.
Right.
That's not cool.
I don't know what that is. Like he's like texting during the show yesterday. He's got reactions to things I'm saying. I'm like, hey, I thought you were like taking a recharge. Like I thought you were taking some vacay, some time off. And this is not time for takes. You're supposed to be recharging yourself, right? Enjoying your birthday weekend. And that's here he is.
The recharge is totally a thing, by the way, because I don't take a lot of time off from my various endeavors. And then whenever I take like 3 days off or a long weekend, I just come back bubbling over with takes, Tobin. Like, yeah. You don't want to waste those. Well, so I think he's right about you as well. You don't want to waste those while you're on vacation. Let them bubble over. Then he comes back on Monday, and it's just a take palooza.
Look, I don't know what's going on there, but I do know he's being very greedy. That's what's going on. Dr. Toboggan says he loves Hawk and Crowder. He probably does. He'd probably rather be on that show. He's now texting because J-Fig hit him on our group text with a -1, and he's like, well, for what? I'm just going to text him. You know what you did. He knows what. Going on Hawk and Crowder yesterday.
Ask if he's going
-1.
Thanks, Vlad.
He's probably going on their show again today.
Probably.
Another sandwich debate coming up.
Yeah,
at 2
who
p.m.
knows? Who knows? It could be. Let's get ready a little bit for tonight. It is Game 6, Heat and Knicks. Do you have Bam Adebayo, Vlad? This was him post Game 5, turning ahead.
Take home at this point. That's the biggest thing for us, protecting home.
All right. Oh, deep. Wow. He's right,
short and to the point.
He was very short with his press conference. I had to edit that. It was like a minute. Well, 4 questions, 1 minute, 13 seconds.
When he doesn't feel like talking, he doesn't feel like talking. I'll tell you one thing, though. You know who didn't talk yesterday? Devin Booker. Rats off a ship. Left the arena.
Really?
Wow. Yep.
Damn.
Wouldn't talk to the media.
He's having a bad spring, man. You lose Kylie.
Oh, he lost the
Bad
Jenner
Bunny.
girl?
Remember,
Yeah.
Bad Bunny.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that was I didn't know it was true and it was untrue.
She
Bad
did upgrade.
Bunny.
Can't blame her.
Yeah, I
Bad
can't blame her
Bunny got
either.
her. And then now you get eliminated.
That's usually a good thing when you get out of that family. Usually that uplifts the curse.
I think that's more just a Kardashian thing. I think it's with the last name. I think
the Kardashians bad.
Yeah.
When you leave the Kardashians, usually a good thing. The Jenner, not so much.
The Jenners. Okay.
What about Jimmy? Let's get Jimmy's thoughts. Let's see if they're a little bit more elaborate going into tonight.
I'm looking forward to getting back to the crib. Miami's always good. That's where my guys, that's where my family, that's where my child is. So I'm enjoying my day off tomorrow, clear my head along with everybody else, and then we'll be ready to battle come Friday.
Yeah, you hear that, Leroy? He clears his head. He doesn't go on Hockman and Crowder on his day off. Did you hear Jimmy Butler on Hockman and Crowder yesterday, Vlad? I didn't.
No, he wasn't on.
Ridiculous. I will say, though, look, tonight, here's what's going to happen, Dono. This Devin Booker, a lot of people throwing him the flowers. Oh, that's the best player in the playoffs. Right. Not Jimmy Butler. No. You guys are going to learn today. This is what the best player in the playoffs does. He closes it out. That's what he's going to do. In his building, he's not going to allow any embarrassment like Devin Booker did.
Jimmy's due. I mean, he had a quiet, by his standards, very quiet 19-point outing in a game where he took it a little easy on the Knicks in Game 5. Saving it up for Game 6, back at home. Scott Foster be damned. Tonight, playoff Jimmy shows up. He's going to score in the 30s tonight, Tobin, if not the 40s. I got to look.
So.
I got to look at his over/under for today. He burned me at over/under 27.5 the other day, but I don't think he's going to burn me again. I think Jimmy's going over.
I think the thing that you also got to look out for is, Kevin Love. I mean, had so many wide open threes. He's got to bury a couple of those, and I think that getting that off to a good start, if he doesn't have it going early, I don't know, does Spo then go to another shooter and see just who's got it? Does Duncan have it tonight or something like that? Or does he just keep going with Kevin Love? Usually Spo's a process guy, though. Like, he's going to let those guys go out there and shoot their way out. Same thing with Gabe Vincent, but Gabe Vincent's had a couple of clunky shooting games in a row. He's usually due because he can get very streaky and get going. And we've seen him. We saw him in the closeout game against Milwaukee. Very, very, very dangerous. When he gets that hot hand, he'll pull up from anywhere. But I do think this is one of those games we've seen with Jimmy, particularly in the playoffs. He can get – we have seen an aggressive Jimmy in the first quarter. We have seen a guy that really sets the tone early. And I do think that's important tonight. I think that he goes out there and just shows everybody that he's ready to go right off the bat, gets a couple of those patented, get in the passing lane, steals. I think that's the big thing. The Heat have to do a couple of things tonight. One of them is going to be a big challenge because you have crooked Scott Foster in the building, and that's not foul as much. And
not crooked.
He's crooked, dude. He's crooked.
Yeah.
You know it. Everybody knows
what are the
it.
Heat 0 for their last 10 against Scott Foster? Something like that. It's either 0 for 9 or 0 for their last 10.
Look, all I know is if somehow the Knicks are able to pull out this series, Scott Foster's getting a ring. That's all I know.
How's he getting a ring when it's only a series?
Oh, because the Knicks will give you the Knicks will give you a ring just for making the conference finals.
They've dropped confetti after winning a first-round series before.
That's fair,
so,
Vlad.
yeah,
You
they're
can't-
going to give
you
him a
can't
ring.
deny that. Ben Stiller's just going to buy him a ring.
Point for Tobin.
But yeah, I think I want to see an aggressive Jimmy tonight too. I want to see him, come out there. It will be interesting to see how he physically looks because a lot of people are wondering, is that ankle? How is it doing? There's only been 1 day breaks between all of these. And that's all you're going to get. I mean, if it goes to a game 7, game 7 would be on 2 days rest going into the Garden. But look, we know it's better than 2 days rest. Finish this puppy up and then you're off till Wednesday. That's what's better.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be a lot more aggressive early on in this game. That's been his MO for most of these playoffs. But I thought, and I said this yesterday, I thought in game 5, it looked a little bit more like regular season Jimmy, who's a really good player, but regular season Jimmy is more of a facilitator early in games than a Terminator early in games. I think he needs to go into Terminator mode from the opening tip tonight.
I tell you the other thing that I like that now the Knicks fan is cocky that Quentin Grimes is the Jimmy stopper.
No, nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that.
Jimmy, they said that.
No,
Jimmy,
they did
said
not.
That. No,
Stop.
if you could get
Stop.
this,
I knew
Jimmy,
you were going to do
Jimmy,
this.
If they,
I
don't know.
knew you were
I'm
gonna
telling
do
you right
this.
now. That's what they're saying, dude.
No, they're not saying that.
What was it?
No one
Because
is saying that.
Jimmy was
I want-
2 for 5 against him, and now he's
Jimmy,
the Jimmy
while
stopper.
you're going to the arena for your shoot around tonight, I just want you to know they're saying that.
Nobody's
about Quentin
saying that,
Grimes.
Jimmy.
They're
No
saying
one's
he's-
saying that,
They're
Jimmy.
saying Quentin Grimes.
No, enjoy your coffee.
Nice
Nobody's
and
saying
Grimesy.
that.
That's what they're saying.
No one's
Get
saying
Grimesy. He's the Jimmy stopper. So listen,
I
that's
think
what they're
they
saying. I'm
did.
not saying that, Jimmy, but that's what the Knicks fans
I think
are
they
saying.
did
one's
5.
saying
They did
that.
5 hours on that on WFAN
I heard
yesterday.
that. I heard that. I heard all-time Knicks play from the Jimmy stopper. I heard Quentin Grimes bottled up Jimmy, never heard from again. That's what they're saying, Jimmy. I don't know.
They're not saying that.
No,
Jimmy.
they are saying that.
They're
dude.
not saying
Just
that.
so, and I heard he was
we got the Jimmy stopper here. We got Grimes. he's gonna shut this guy down. Knicks and
No
7,
one said
bros.
that.
Dude, I heard that. I'm sure that Quentin Grimes is out there. He's probably subtweeting about it or something like that. You got to, look, Jimmy. I'm just relaying the message. That's what they're saying. You do you.
They're not saying that, Jimmy.
No, they
You
are,
do
dude.
you, but they're not saying that. Nobody's saying
They're
that
saying
Quentin
that, dude.
Grimes is a Jimmy stopper. All right? This ain't Ruben Patterson. All right? This ain't Gerald Wilkins.
You just said, listen. I'm just saying that's what the streets are saying.
The
So,
streets are not saying that.
I think they
the
are.
Blocks, the Calais, none
I
of that
think
is
they're
saying that.
All down 5th Avenue. They're talking about it in Long Island. They're talking about it in Brooklyn. They're talking about it in Jersey.
Just
It's been the chatter.
Remember, Jimmy, they were saying remember what they're saying about Josh Hart? It's like that, except even more. So you do you. You do what you did to Josh Hart, which is basically erase him from this series. Josh Hart tried to take him out with that slide tackle, never to be heard from again. Josh Hart going out here and getting fouled, basically getting 4 fouls in 2 minutes. Duncan Robinson doesn't foul that quick.
Leave my guys alone. Nobody said anything to
Oh, they
Jimmy.
said that, dude.
All right, you're trying to get this fan base all riled up for no reason.
I'm not trying to get the fan base
All right,
riled up. I'm just relaying
they're gonna be excited already, Tobin. They're gonna be excited already.
I'm just relaying what I've heard. I've heard that on Nick's Spaces.
Nick's Spaces.
That's what they're saying.
What are you doing on Nick's Spaces, Tobin?
Oh,
I just hope the Knicks
misery.
What are you on Nick's Spaces?
Just
I
wanted
hope
to hear
the Knicks.
misery and
I hope they're
kookiness.
hanging out. I hope they're hanging out in the air conditioning today, because if they're
Yeah, me
outside
too.
walking around
Me
in that
too.
humidity, they're in big trouble.
I actually think I saw Mitchell Robinson. I think I saw him on the top of the Kaseya Center with like one of those reflectors, just so he can get used to it. Get used to the climate before tip off.
He's got the tanning oil on.
Yeah, he's got everything going. He's just, got to get myself nice and warm out here so I can be used to this Kaseya Center. It's so hot. It's so hot down here. I can't even handle it. Very much looking forward to tonight. Game 6.
You're wearing Knick colors, aren't you?
I guess you could say so. I mean, do the Knicks wear peach now?
You trying to say it's peach? It's orange.
It's peach.
I say it's orange.
Peach and baby blue. It's like if the Knicks had a terrible city edition jersey.
Yeah, that's right.
We don't.
We'll take a break. Back with more after this.
Breaking news.
Chris Sims can go to hell. Tua Tagovailoa, Dolphins quarterback.
Daddy loves you guys.
Our Tua with Tobin and Leroy.
Check the history of
Hour 2 of the program, ladies and gentlemen. Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. Alex Dono co-hosting today. It's good to have Dono along. Last couple of days. Appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Oh, it's my pleasure, man, especially on days like this where, a couple months ago, I wouldn't have thought we would have this much heat and this much Panthers to talk about. But, man, I'm glad we got something keeping us occupied in May and hopefully into June.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The fact that we have this much awesomeness going on with two franchises down here is really, really cool. Otherwise, we'd really have to do That's a Win, That's a Loss for every single segment of the show today.
We just replay it on loop. That's
pretty much.
That's a win, Mike. That's a loss.
Robbie the Degenerate chiming in, who is excited for That's a Win, That's a Loss also coming up. He goes, how can Leroy not be on the show for That's a Win, That's a Loss? J-Vig was making that point too, but you know what? I can't delay this. He weaseled out of it this year, and even though he hates this segment more than anything in the world, we will definitely send him the recording, and he will have to listen to it anyway.
Well, why don't you tell him this is the Hawk and Crowder show and ask him to call in?
Apparently, he did Zach Gelb's show last night too.
Really?
I'm like, are you kidding me? Gelb?
It's some vacation.
This is ridiculous. You're giving takes to everybody but us.
Oh, man.
I'm not opposed to it. Look, you could, but he gets, Dono, this is a thing that he has been after me for forever. Yeah. Is the fact that he's like, you never just go on vacation. You just never shut up, which is fair. But also, don't go on Zach Gelb show, dude.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
What was he even talking about with Gelb? Were they talking Cleveland sports, Minnesota sports?
Who knows?
Miami sports?
I know that Zach Gelb hates our Tua like poison, so probably just rip into Tua. Who knows?
Do you think in Los Angeles sports radio they've got our Herbert?
No way. They don't even care about him. They don't even care about him. They barely even know he's their quarterback. Get to some headlines here, brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck in a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
Oh, man. And Donald's got the truck there, too. We got props. We got it all. See, Leroy? You go on, Zach Gelb with that. The Marlins are back in action today. They are 6:40 taking on the Cincinnati Reds. Yuri Perez making his Marlins debut, youngest Marlins pitcher ever. So there you go. Meanwhile, 7 o'clock tonight, the Panthers take on the Maple Leafs, Game 5. You can listen to that game on AM 790. Doug Plagans with your call from that hellhole, the Scotiabank Center, where all those Leafs fans are going to be looking so dumb today. Oh, looking up at their screen.
I have as much, and we talked about this yesterday with the Leafs fans who are bottom of the barrel in the NHL. I mean, yep. they are more obnoxious than Knicks fans. And believe me, it's true. They are more obnoxious than Knicks fans. And Tobin, I'm in it's actually an Italian soccer group chat, but it's mostly with Canadians who are Toronto Maple Leafs fans, except for my buddy Jerry, who lives in Toronto and he hates the Leafs. God bless you, Jerry. God bless you. But I always have to talk trash with these fools. I am very invested in the Panthers ending things tonight with the gentleman's sweep.
Me too. I love a gentleman's. I like a gentleman's sweep almost better than a sweep. So I'm glad that it's going 5.
Because you give them a glimmer of hope. That's why the gentleman's sweep is better.
Because you're not really being a gentleman.
It's just a better way to do it. I appreciate it. 7:30 tonight is Heat and Knicks. 7:30 at the Kaseya Center. 6:15 Solana will get you going with preheat, and that is on 560 WQAM. Last night in the NBA playoffs, if you guys were thinking that the Celtics season was going to end, it almost did. But then Jason Tatum decided to stop being awful, and they win 95-86. He scored, what did he score? 15 in the fourth quarter, Vlad? Do you remember what he did last night? I think
Jason Tatum, 17?
17 in the fourth quarter.
Wow.
Yeah. He outscored the entire Sixers team, which put up 13 points in the fourth quarter.
God, I mean, just tire each other out, Boston and Philly. Let's go.
Exactly. This is just a couple of hyenas going after one bone. Just keep fighting. Heat win tonight. Just easy breezy up until they get tonight, task at hand. But you get tonight,
Right.
you're off until I think it was Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? I think Wednesday is when the conference finals would start. And then get Jimmy some nice time off, and then you steal that home court advantage right away. Just again, that's been the strategy. You take that home court right away.
Get Jimmy in that cold tub for 4 days. Just get that bionic ankle ready to go for the conference finals. And another reason, Tobin, why, as much as I want both those teams to beat each other up on the other side, I do hope it's Philly over Boston, because the Boston Celtics, all their fans bragging about beating the Heat in 7 last year. They had this amazing offseason, much better than the Heat's offseason looked, a much better regular season than Miami. And the idea of actually going farther in the playoffs this year than Boston, that tickles my fancy.
Oh, listen, we'll do more tickling of fancy, but I agree. But the other thing is, man, I'd really like to beat that team too. I gotta hate them so much. And I feel like, I don't know, there's something about them. They don't feel quite the same. And if they were taking on anybody but the Sixers, they'd actually be in danger. But of course, you have the ineptitude of the Sixers. So you can never quite trust what's going to happen. These guys deserve a game 7, just a game 7 of crap between both of them, which, by the way, will be taking place on Sunday. So we'll see what goes on there. You also, of course, have Lakers and Warriors tonight. That's game 6, and that's at 10 o'clock. So that's a look at your NBA slate. Denver has moved on. They will await the winner of that game. The Western Conference Finals start on Tuesday. So you have that to look forward to as well. Meanwhile, Tom Brady, apparently, Dono, he's not flirting with the Dolphins anymore. He's apparently flirting with the Raiders. That's where he's going to go. He's apparently going to buy a stake in the Raiders. That's the talks now.
I've seen some weird flexes from Dolphin fans who because they Dolphin fans despise Mike Florio, and all the reports that he's had the last couple of years about Brady either buying into the Dolphins or playing for the Dolphins or both. And I see these weird flexes see, he was never going to buy into the Dolphins. It's the Raiders. But can't both be true? Because honestly, I think that with Bruce Beal's spot getting blown up the way that it did, where he's no longer inheriting the team, and that's Brady's buddy, not to mention all the taboo behind the tampering. If nothing else, Tobin, I still believe that Brady at times was flirting with buying into the Dolphins. I just think he had to pivot to the Raiders because I don't think the Dolphins are a real option for him anymore.
No, totally agree. I think the Tom Brady thing was absolutely real. I mean, honestly, I think Tom Brady probably would have been the Dolphins quarterback if it wasn't for Brian Flores' lawsuit. I think that I think that definitely would have happened. But yeah, there's just too much baggage there at this point between the tampering, between the Bruce Beal, between you having Tua seeming like he is on the up and up. Because if Tom Brady buys into the Dolphins, how's it not always going to be a thing? If Tua were to get hurt, if Tua does struggle, if that does, how is it not always going to be a storyline for part owner Tom Brady to always suit up? I just think it's one of those things. It's almost like it's not a parallel because one guy sucks and one guy's the greatest quarterback of all time, but it's almost like when you were to sign Tebow. It's it's always going to be a thing. We're going to go to this well because you got the crazies out there that are going to want this. So it's the only time I'm ever going to compare Tebow and Tom Brady again. But that's that to me, I think he has to move on. That's the thing that's weird about it with the Raiders is everybody's just he's a family man. He's going to stay down here. It's I guess he doesn't technically have to be there because Wade owns a piece of the Jazz and he lives in Los Angeles. So
right. No, I mean he doesn't. I mean he doesn't even have to go to every single home game there if he doesn't want to. I'm sure he's going to turn up for most of those games, sit in the owner's box and stuff.
Going to hang out with Dana White. Him and Dana White are going to be there.
Not to mention the fact that when you're rich enough to have a private jet take you wherever you want to go, I can think of worse places to spend a long weekend every now and then than Las Vegas. So Brady can comfortably live down here and he can go out there to Vegas for all their home games.
I hope that they have that same energy. I hope Jimmy G has to look over his shoulder now.
How the hell the Raiders get 5 national games and the Dolphins only?
Well, they got 3. That many, huh?
They got 5 national games.
They got 5, bro.
Wow. Really?
Yeah,
that is surprising.
Yeah.
That is surprising.
Cincinnati only got 2.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You would think if Cincinnati has the type of year they've had the last couple of years, you got to think they're going to get a couple Sunday night flexes. But wow, to only have 2 on the preseason schedule.
That is a little bit weird.
Yeah.
That is a little bit weird. By the way, man, am I annoyed with this Ryan Fitzpatrick. They're trying to sell him as the face of that Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
Holy crap, is he annoying? just enough of him already. Like they're trying, they try so hard with that rat Fink, just like nonstop.
Why is he a rat Fink?
Dude, because he was
used to be
just
our guy.
chirping. Oh, not from me, dude. I didn't like him
I liked
from
him.
the start. You know, he's just there with his stupid beard. It's the only reason anybody likes him is because of his facial hair. That's it. Guy stunk as a quarterback. You know, the
I don't know.
greatest 5-11 of all time.
There's something to me like relatable about the dude and the fact that like he admitted he gets fat in the off season because he's got all those kids' birthdays around the same time. I kind of like the fact that, and thankfully it happened after he left here. Like, you know, he got injured going down a water slide somewhere when he joined the command. I don't know, like something about, he seems like the everyman to me.
Well,
I don't
that was
know.
the thing though. But like, how offended was? Did you hear that interview that he did with the Levitard show when they asked him about that? How offended he was that they brought up the water
Yeah,
slide, which
that's
you have
true.
to, you have to mention. And
Yeah,
he was
that's
so
true.
upset that, we're trying to make this a thing now. Like, he's a fake nice guy. He's a fake nice guy.
I mean, you lied to your team about an injury.
Well, yeah, but what a time! Like Tua got upset on the Levitard show because they asked him about
Murder.
The concussions and the family stuff. He got upset too. I don't see you being mad at Tua.
Yeah, but I can see that. Like, you're asking him who's going to charge the Dolphins with murder. Seems like something a little less silly than a water slide injury.
Yeah, but the tone of the question though was like, he took it a little too literally. Tua.
Maybe. But Brian Fitzpatrick's a bum and Tua's good. Speaking of, we got to that's a win, that's a loss. Next.
A pivotal night in South Florida.
Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. Hey, it's May. We decided to continue Dave & Buster's month. We've got your chance to win a $250 gift card from Dave & Buster's to watch the NBA and NHL playoffs and more. Go to WQAM.com. Enter on the contest page. If you win, you're going to go to Dave & Buster's with your gift card and have a party all on us and Dave & Buster's. Eat, drink, play, watch sports at Dave & Buster's in Hollywood. Hello, Jennifer. How are you?
I think that's not my name for this segment, is it?
I mean, are you trying to invoke somebody's spirit?
I think so.
You were going to be Spirit Leroy for That's a Win, That's a Loss.
Clearly, since he doesn't know how to be on our show.
Wow. It's very, it is disheartening. It is disheartening, but we must get to it. The Dolphins schedule has been released. We play a timeless tradition on radio. That's a win. That's a loss. I don't care if the biggest games are in playoffs tonight. We'll get to that later.
Okay.
It's important to know, what do we think about games that are in 6 months? We must know. We must know.
Sounds
So let's get
good
to
when
it,
you put
everybody.
that way.
I know, right? So let's get to it. Week 1 of the Miami Dolphins season. They venture out to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. 4:25 kickoff. Dono, is that a win or a loss for you, dude? What do you got?
That's a win. So Tua and Herbert 1-1 against each other. The trilogy fight is coming up. Tua's going to win that rubber match, and the Dolphins defense are better built to deal with Herbert and the Chargers passing game with what they've added to the secondary with Jalen Ramsey. They actually have a competent defensive coordinator, not just competent, one of the best in the business now with Vic Fangio. Fangs up, my friends. Dolphins start 1-0.
I agree. I have them at 1-0 as well. What about you, Vlad? Where are you with the Dolphins on this one? Are you impartial here? Are you able to be impartial?
I am very impartial.
Right,
I can do that.
That's okay.
If you know one thing about Vlad hates Brandon Staley. I despise that.
So then you're not impartial.
I am impartial. I'm
putting
impartial.
his Jets loyalties aside.
I put in my Jets. Exactly. I'm impartial. Brandon Staley needs to go. And therefore, Dolphins win. First game of the season, 34-31 over
this.
Brandon Staley. They'll miss a field goal to tie.
All right.
Dolphins 1-0.
Spirit Leroy, what do you have?
I love that. I'm also with that W.
All right. I like it. So far, a sweep. We have another special guest to chime in. A former producer of this show, a man who is a degenerate, loves gambling. Robbie the Degenerate has sent in a pick for week 1 of the NFL season between the Dolphins and Chargers. Robbie?
Rematch. Herbert versus Tua from last year, but just like last year, it is a loss for the Dolphins. 0-1.
Wow.
Robbie.
Jesus, Robbie?
Really?
That's how he's going to do that, huh? That's how
Bring
he's
us
going to do
down.
that. All right. Moving on. Week 2, Dono. The Dolphins go to Foxborough for a Sunday night football matchup against Mac Jones and the Patriots. What say you?
Tua has never lost to Bill Belichick. He's certainly never lost head-to-head against Mac Jones. I don't see why that stops this time. 2-0, that's a dub.
Agreed. I think this is also a dub, basically just for one reason. Mac Jones sucks, dude. There's no way. There's no way that Mac Jones is not going to wet his bed thinking about what Vic Fangio and that defense is going to do. I think Jalen Ramsey, Javon Holland, and Xavier Howard all have interceptions against Mac Jones that week. All of them. All of them. Right there on prime time. What about you, Vlad?
Patriots done this season, man.
Done.
2-0. Patriots, Dolphins get rid of the Patriots early. It's an early game in September. 2-0 Fins.
All right. Spirit Leroy?
That's a win.
That was a very evil laugh.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if Robbie the Degenerate, let's see if he's going to uplift the mood here a little bit and see what he has to say with Dolphins Patriots week 2.
Any other week on the schedule, I'd have this as a Dolphins win. But the problem is, you got Tom Brady being honored, which means he's going to be in the building. Stephen Ross is going to be in the building also. Tua is going to be all sorts of distracted and rattled, just like he was with the Deshaun Watson trade rumors around him. I have this as a loss for the Dolphins, 0-2.
I don't even think Robbie has his
Robbie's
facts right.
wrong.
You're
No,
wrong, dude.
You're
He's
wrong,
being honored
Robbie.
against the Eagles, dude. They're doing it for the opener, I think.
Yes, they are.
That's what I thought it was. I thought it was the opener.
Robert Kraft came on Good Morning America and said that they were honoring Tom. And Jim Nantz said that he wanted to be the MC for that.
Of course he
Oh.
does.
Oh, yeah.
Nance just gets whatever
Yeah.
he wants.
So Robbie's wrong. It's not going to be on Sunday night. It's going to be on
How about that,
week
Robbie?
1. So therefore, you're wrong, Robbie.
Home opener, week 3, Dolphins, Broncos. Dono, what you got, dude?
I mean, I don't have to say too much about this one. That's a win.
Agreed. Russell Wilson coming in there. Everybody thought he was going to be good for the Broncos. Do the Broncos have any national TV games? Have they answered for their crimes?
Yes, they do.
They do?
They do.
Because you're
Why?
guaranteed at least one, right?
They
You ha-
do.
you-
Okay,
everyone
Okay,
have
so
done that.
besides their guarantees, because they gave us 900
Chiefs.
Broncos games last year.
Yeah,
Thursday night versus the Chiefs.
Okay, that doesn't count. That doesn't
that's a
count.
guarantee.
That's a guarantee. So, but they have no Monday nights, no Sunday nights. Nobody's being forced watching Broncos football, but they will be forced to watching the Dolphins kick their ass. I got that as a win as well. Vlad, where do you go on this one?
Unfortunately, I have to say Dolphins will start 3-0. They will beat the
Wow.
They will beat the
That's-
Broncos easy. Come on, unless Sean Payton's God
Mm-hmm.
and can change that team. Did you see that team last year? They
Terrible.
Stunk. They stunk nasty.
I just forgot Sean Payton was their coach.
Yo, there you
It
go.
doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter.
He's going to be moving on to somebody. He'll probably be back trying to find Paxton Lynch out of the XFL. Probably bring him back to replace Russell Wilson. Jay Fig? I mean, Spirit Leroy?
Oh,
Oh,
that's a win.
listen, I like the start to the schedule. I think we're all feeling it, except for one person who doesn't even have his facts correct. Robbie, what do you got for this one?
Bro, you got a team from high altitude coming to Miami in September with a melting heat, and the Broncos aren't very good. Oh, this is gonna be an easy win for the Dolphins, 1-2.
Wow. All right.
1 and 2.
Robbie's got him on
Very
the board.
descriptive there.
Very,
With
very
the Heat.
got us on the board.
The
All right.
thing, like, okay, the Heat is one thing, and the Broncos, I've seen the Broncos melt in the South Florida Heat before, but going from high altitude to low altitude, that's not a disadvantage. That goes the other way. Going from low to high is the disadvantage. This guy thinks he's a scientist. Or
I don't know. You know what, dude? I have to ask Mike Greenberg because I don't know unless he tells me what I feel about atmosphere. I'm not sure. It's tough to, so I got to get Greeny's thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Let's move on to week 4, Donna. Week 4, back out on the road to take on those dastardly Buffalo Bills. What do you got for this one?
Yeah, this is going to be the first L that I give to the Dolphins, and it's reluctantly because I think the Dolphins and Bills probably split, so I'm going to go with the home teams each taking the matchup. So traveling up to Buffalo week 4, it's going to be a close one, Tobin. I think it's going to come down to a final possession, but I give the slight edge to Josh Allen and company.
You know what? I agree with you on this. I don't know if I can in good conscience put a 4-0 start out for the Dolphins. I feel like this is, but I do look, we've seen these teams. They're very, very close. I think this will be another close one. And plus, look, these Weasel Bills, they get their way. They whined and they cried. Oh, please don't put us in some Dolphins. So they'll get their way. They'll win by a field goal. It'll be a close game, but I'm with you. I have first L and the Dolphins at 3-1. What about you, Vlad?
They're going to lose in a tiebreaker. I mean, a field goal. They'll lose on a field goal. It'll be like 34-31.
I agree.
I think that's how the Finns lose. I can't have them going undefeated either. But that's going to be I kind of want to say they can sneak that. Like,
Do what you got to do, dude.
Yeah.
If you want to start them 4-0, no one's going to stop you.
You're gonna sneak it.
Finns beat the Bills.
Wow.
Yes.
4-0 start from Vlad.
The Jets fan has them starting 4-0.
Amazing.
You know where the 2 losses are going to come to.
Oh, okay. Wait for it.
Spirit Leroy, what say you?
They're coming out with everything they've got in this game. It's a win.
Wow. I love the Spirit Leroy. Spirit Leroy way better than the actual Leroy when it comes to that's a win, that's a loss.
Because I feel like real Leroy probably wouldn't even participate, right?
He'd just stare at the screen.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even give us an answer, Donna.
He'll probably be munching right now.
Yep.
All you hear is crunch, crunch, crunch.
What about Robbie? Let's see what he has to say about this one. I think I know where this is going to go.
2 years ago, it was AJ Epinesa. Last year, it was Matt Milano. This year, I have Ed Oliver continuing the early season Bills tradition of knocking Tua out of the game. And he's not going to be able to come back this time. Too much PR on the line. And Mike White's going to come into this game, and he's not going to be able to get the job done. I have this as a loss for the Dolphins, 1-3.
So he's already
already got Tua
He's got
knocked
Tua
out.
out of the season by week 4. What, you bastard.
He made a good point though about too much PR on the line, because if
He
God
is right
forbid
about that.
if Tua suffers a hangnail this year, they're going to be like, yeah, what, you can't play this guy, you can't rush him back.
If
He's
Tua,
right about that.
Yeah, if somebody lands on Tua, they're going to be like, protocols? That is true. I mean, they're going to watch. They're going to have a keen eye on Tua, but he's learning jiu-jitsu, dude. Like, he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. All right, we return home week 5 hosting the New York Football Giants. Donna, what do you got for this one, buddy?
Yeah, I'm going to squeak a Dolphins W against the New York Football Giants, and that would have them at 4-1 by my count.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going the Dolphins get back on track after the Bills game.
Okay, I agree with you. I have a Dolphins win here. I have sad Will Manso looking at his New York Giants. Sad Sid Rosenberg.
Yes, I was about to say. Oh, bro, what are you talking about? The New York Football Giants, they lost to the Dolphins. What's going on?
Danny Dimes, they don't want to pay him. They were forced into it. Then they made Saquon Barkley all upset. So I'm sorry. I got that as a loss, Will. The Dolphins are winning that game for you, and you're going to have to put on a fake smile for Local 10. No way. That's what's going on there. So I got a win for the Dolphins there. What about you, Vlad? Your New York counterparts.
Even though I hate the Giants, after an unbelievable win over the Bills, this is the come down.
The letdown.
This is the letdown.
This
is a letdown game. You'll actually be beating the Giants by 10 points going in the fourth quarter.
Wow.
And somehow
some collapse.
Wow. Just a letdown. Yeah, this is your loss.
A humbling game. What about you, Spirit Leroy?
You know what? It's very unfortunate that Vlad and I kind of have the same situation going on.
All right.
I don't like it, but this is definitely going to be one of those little sneaky losses that are not really a true loss, you know?
Right. Like the Dolphins are the better team.
Right.
It's just that they were just looking ahead.
Got a little fat and sassy.
All right.
Maybe Tua underthrows somebody, and then the whole the narrative starts that week.
Maybe.
Could be one of those games.
Maybe you have that Kevon Thibodeau. He's doing the Snow Angels, except it's in the sun. Sand Angels. What about Robbie? I'm sure he's going to be, now that we have Mike White at quarterback, I'm sure this one's going great. Here we go. Robbie the Degenerate.
So Tua is still in the protocol. Mike White will start this game for the Dolphins with a full week of practice. And Mike White playing not against his whole team, but against his old city somewhat. Got this as a win for the Dolphins, 2-3.
Wow, the hometown kid.
Hey?
All right.
That was a roller coaster of a prediction.
He does.
Seriously.
Robbie's got Tua in protocol, but he's got Mike White leading the Dolphins. All right.
So now we got a quarterback controversy is what Robbie's saying.
Yeah, pretty much.
Week 6, they are hosting the Carolina Panthers. Donna, what do you have for this one?
It's one of the easier dubs on the schedule. Agreed. I mean, this is almost it might even be easier than the Broncos game, because at least the Broncos have got themselves a good coach. So yeah, this is a dub for the Dolphins.
I do think this is a theme. I do think the Dolphins they have a softish home schedule. They were good at home last year, 6-2. I think they got to take care of business at home, and I think they will against Bryce Young. He's tiny. He's so small. Vlad, what about you?
Put your money on the Dolphins after the letdown against the Giants. This is smackdown city. This is a blowout. You get to see Mike White. Absolutely, you'll get to see Mike White.
You think just a
little
mop-up duty?
Third quarter, like midway through the third quarter.
You might get to see Skyler in this one.
You might get to see Skyler.
Skyler's the limit.
I think a 40 burger might be dropped on this game.
What about you, Spirit Leroy?
Come on. That's a dub for me.
Exactly. I mean, what else needs to be said? Robbie the Degenerate, what do you have to say about this?
Mike White's still at quarterback for the Dolphins, but you got a rookie quarterback coming in, playing on the road. Not a lot of weapons at Carolina since they traded their best one away to get said rookie quarterback. I got this as a win for the Dolphins, 3-3.
All right. Robbie has them at 3-3. Let's get through this one. Next up, Sunday Night Football. What could be argued as the toughest game of the year. Taking on the NFC champions in their building. Philadelphia Eagles, Week 7, Sunday Night Football on the road. Dono, what do you got for this one?
Well, I love the Tua versus Hurts storylines, but it hurts to admit it that I think the Eagles are going to take this dub from Miami. So that's the second loss I'm going to give the Dolphins this year.
Same page with you. I think we've been in lockstep this entire way. That's probably the toughest game of the season, I would say. Going into Philadelphia for a prime timer, who knows what they're going to throw piss snowballs? Who knows what that degenerate fan base is
Yellow,
do?
they're throwing yellow snowballs at
Yeah, like it is piss snowballs in October. Who knows what they're going to get going?
Pretty gross.
Trash Halloween candy. You can't trust Philadelphia. I don't know what they got going on there, but I got that as a loss as well. Vlad?
This is your first bad loss of the season. Like, where you feel like that they're just this team is way better than you right now. As of right now. Yeah.
Measuring stick game.
Yeah, this is a measuring stick game. This might be your first double-digit loss. Maybe like a 38-24, 35-20 type of loss.
All right. Jennifer, a.k.a. Spirit Leroy, what do you have for week 7? Wow. All right. Y'all not feeling great about this Eagles game. What about Robbie the Degenerate? Does he swerve us with the Mike White train?
Tua is back for this Sunday night showdown against the Eagles. A lot of parallels between these two teams, except one team ended up in the Super Bowl. Both got that Alabama receiver in the first round. Both traded for a superstar wide receiver, but the Eagles worked out better for them, sort of. And so this is a loss for the Dolphins in prime time, 3-4.
All right. Tua's return is a loss for Robbie. 2 more before we hit the break here. Back home, hosting the Patriots. Dono, what do you got?
Dolphins are going to sweep the Patriots this year. That is a dub. We'll see if Mac Jones is even still the quarterback at that point. There could be some Bailey Zappi action, or maybe they'll try to bring Tom Brady out of retirement. But no, that is a dub for the Dolphins.
Well, we know either way that there's always Brian Hoyer. If all else fails, just go to Hoyer. I'm with you. The team sucks. Dolphins will sweep them this year. Vlad?
I want the Patriots to go 0-6 in the
that'd
division.
be so good. That'd be so good.
Fin sweep.
What about you, Spirit Leroy?
Come on, guys. Are
Yeah.
you really asking me this question?
I mean, what's the point, right?
That's so silly.
So silly. So silly. Robbie?
Dolphins always win at home against the Patriots, no matter what. Win for the Dolphins, 4-4.
All right, we'll wrap this up before the bye week. Inexplicably, we are flying to Germany and taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Dono, what do you got for this one?
Oh, that's a loss, Mike. That's a loss.
That's a loss? Wow.
It's a tough matchup, and people are trying to tell me apparently there's a lot of Chiefs fans in Germany, so they probably just hop on the Super Bowl winning bandwagon over there. So yeah, I wish this one was going to be in KC because the Tyreek Hill storylines would be fun, but we're going down in Frankfurt, guys.
Look, Tyreek Hill told us a month ago when he was on that random Chiefs podcast with his former teammates, and he said he was going to throw up the peace sign at Arrowhead. Well, he doesn't get that opportunity, but he's still going to be throwing up a lot of peace signs. I think we're going to have a huge day for the Cheetah. I think he's going to be throwing peace signs all over the place. He's going to have some brats. He's going to have some beers. He's going to have some schnitzel. They're not going to know what hit him. Dolphins beat the Chiefs in Germany going into the bye. What about you, Vlad?
There'll be a lot of Franks being eaten. There'll be a lot of beer being drunk. But it doesn't matter if it's in Kansas City, Miami, Frankfurt, Oslo. It doesn't matter. That boy Patrick Mahomes is the real deal. Chiefs beat the Dolphins in a close one.
Oh, wow. Respectable.
Yeah, in a close one.
What about you, Spirit Leroy?
This is a scary one for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and say it ends with an L. A close one.
Nobody
It's an
believes
L.
they can beat him, huh? What about Robbie the Degenerate? What do you have, Robbie?
If this game was being played in Arrowhead, I would have this as a win for the Dolphins because I feel like Tyreek Hill would have this huge monster revenge game, but it's going to be kind of a letdown. It's like Tyreek's like, what the hell, bro? I should be in Arrowhead. I shouldn't be here in Germany. Loss for the Dolphins, 4-5.
I love the
I
logic.
agree with him.
Wow.
It's true.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's a swerve. I didn't expect that one. I'm the only one who thinks they can win in Germany. I think they're just going to win in Germany because they're so mad that they're in Germany. I think that's why I have it. All right. That is the first half of That's a Win, That's a Loss. We will take a break. We will finish the Dolphins schedule after this. I can't see you guys, but hopefully you guys can see me. My monitor went out here.
I can hear you, but I can't. You're frozen visually, but audibly I can hear you.
Hold on.
Yeah, we can see you. We can hear you.
All right. That's weird. Why would they do that?
There you go. I see.
All right.
Much better.
Damn. Not going to ruin that's when that's a loss for me, technology.
Yeah.
Let's roll on here, Dono. We just got out of the bye. Where do you have the Dolphins at? You have them at 6-3?
Yes, 6-3.
6-3. I got them at 7-2. Vlad, where do you have them?
7-2.
Spirit Leroy?
I have 6-3.
All right, and Robbie, I don't remember. I think it's like 4 and whatever.
4-4, I believe.
4-4.
I think Mike White has more wins than Tua at this point.
I think that's what he has. Yes. All right. Let's start off at home against Las Vegas Raiders. Dono, what do you think here?
So, yeah, I like the Dolphins coming off the bye against last year's probably most underachieving team in the league. And I like Tua against Jimmy Garoppolo, who is the poor man's Tua Tagovailoa. I think Mike McDaniel is going to take Tua farther than he ever took Jimmy G. So, yeah, I've got a well-rested Miami Dolphins team getting the dub and improving to 7-3.
I got them in the win here, too. Nobody knows Jimmy G quite like Mike McDaniel does. He knows all his secrets, and he knows one thing. The dude, he may be a looker, but he ain't that much of a QB, all right? And let's see if he's even healthy at this point because it is middle of the season. That's a coin flip for Jimmy G as it is already. But I got that as a win for the Dolphins as well. Vlad?
Win for the Dolphins.
All right.
You got to give it. Yeah.
Got to get that,
Jimmy
right?
G, come on. You got to beat Jimmy G and the Raiders.
Spirit Leroy?
They are well rested, and they thought long and hard about that Germany game.
Yes.
It's a win.
All right. Nice bounce back for you. What about Robbie the Degenerate? What does he have to say about this?
Coming off a bye, and you got a West Coast team traveling east playing the 1 o'clock game. Who knows if Jimmy Garoppolo will be still the starter for the Raiders by then. Gets a win for the Dolphins.
All right. And now a juicy one. Week 12, after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, 3 p.m., the Dolphins venturing to take on the New York Jets. Dono, what do you got?
Sorry, I don't want to do this, but I think the Jets take this first one. I think, yeah, and then it's going to be overhyped the next day. You know, when everyone's full on turkey, people are going to be talking about the Jets beating the Dolphins like they're Super Bowl champions already and Aaron Rodgers, but I think the Jets take this first one.
Disagree. Think the Dolphins win this one. You got Aaron Rodgers Thanksgiving week. He's a weirdo. Who knows what he's going to do on Thanksgiving? I mean, he could go there while everybody's gathering around having turkey. He could be having ayahuasca, you know, going on a spirit quest, you know, thinking about what is the meaning of gratitude. And I think that's a loose cannon. That's a wild card. You don't really know with him.
That might help him, though. Like, yeah.
It's a coin flip. Yeah. It's a coin flip, but I'm going with a win for the Dolphins here over the New York Jets. Vlad, we know what you're going to say.
Of course. We're going to have turkey for Thanksgiving and dolphin for Black Friday.
That's ridiculous.
I love it.
Ridiculous.
I love it.
Ridiculous.
With a lot of purpose, we're going to bust your ass. That's it.
A lot of purpose or
no shot. No shot.
Yes.
Spirit Leroy?
Hate to do this to you, Vlad, but not really. It's a W.
Wow. All right. And what about Robbie the Degenerate? What does he have to say about this Dolphins Jets first matchup?
Little Black Friday action against the Jets. Now, Aaron Rodgers has owned the Dolphins over recent years.
That's true.
But this is New York, and the weather's going to be horrible. So I feel like what's going to happen is it's going to be so bad that they're going to get to overtime, and nobody's going to be able to score. And I have this game ending in a tie. What? These things happen all the time in the NFL. There were 2 ties last year. The last time the Dolphins had a tie was in 1981 against the New York Jets. So I have this as a tie. 5-5-1.
How about that?
I can't believe this, man.
Wow. He just pulled that one out of the... Hold on. I don't think you're allowed to do that, Robbie. Are you allowed to do that? That's a win. That's a loss. You can't. That's a tie?
No,
I'll allow it. Oh, no. I think you mean
right.
Jeff Bezos would not allow a tie on that.
That's crazy.
Ties do happen now multiple times per season in the NFL. I think we have to allow that.
Man.
With those 2 offenses, no.
That's crazy. All right. Then we have week 13. They are going to a dangerous place. The home of the Washington Commanders. You never know what's going to happen at that stadium. Poop could be flying out of the pipes. You know, it's a wild card. And you know, I don't know how to feel about this one, Donna. What do you got for that? Week 13.
No, I got a Dolphins dub there. part of me, I don't care who owns the team now. I despise that Commanders organization so much. The Dolphins are going to win that game. Traveling to Washington, they will get it done. That's a dub.
I actually have this. This is my first letdown game of the season.
Ooh.
I have this as a letdown. Sneaky. Okay. You have a big rivalry game the week beforehand. I feel like the Dolphins, I have them riding high going into this one. I feel like this is one where they can get tripped up. And I have them falling to the Commanders in one of the most disappointing losses of the season. Vlad, what do you have?
I have the Dolphins whipping the Commanders' ass. There's no way the Dolphins should lose to the Commanders. The Commanders stink. You can't lose to Sam Howell. All right? You can't even lose to I'd rather lose to Thurston Howell. All right? I'm not going to lose it. You can't lose to no Sam Howell.
Could be like somebody like Nick Foles at this point, right? Like they just call him off the couch.
It's true.
What about you, Spirit Leroy?
That's a W. With poop or no poop. It's a W.
Poop or no poop? Okay. What about Robbie the Degenerate?
No poop.
We know that Sam Howell is no blacksmith. Win for the Dolphins. 6-5-1.
Yeah, he's not a blacksmith. He goes out there. That means he's not able to just work with any parts.
Yeah.
So there we go. All right. Then we return home. Monday Night Football against the Tennessee Titans, who had a very funny but plagiarized schedule release. Dono, what do you have for this one?
I mean, I hope to see Ryan Tannehill, but Dolphins are going to win this game at home. I'm going with a Dolphins dub.
I also have a dub. I think that I think it'll be the Will Levis era by this point.
Probably.
I think that they'll be moving on, and Mr. Green Room, he's not going to know what hit him. It feels like a throwback jersey night. Feels like Zonk's going to be there doing the coin toss. Somebody's going to get honored. I don't know who. Maybe they're going to put Sam Madison in the Ring of Honor. They'll do some kind of ceremony. Big Monday Night Football game. Maybe there'll be throwback orange jerseys. I don't know. Like some kind of crazy twist will be here. But the crowd's going to be hyped. The Tennessee Titans aren't going to know what hit them. Big blowout Monday Night Football win for the Dolphins. Vlad?
Get my live table ready early. This is a blowout Sunday night. People will be at live very early on this Sunday night. That's easy.
Spirit Leroy?
The Tennessee who? It's a dub.
Titans.
I know.
Titans.
That's also the only thing that they knew in that video. The only team.
I know that. Good
Tennessee
for you guys.
Titans.
What about you're making fun of the girls? You thought they were that voice?
Yeah.
Robbie, what do you got for this one? Robbie,
who knows if Ryan Tannehill will still be the quarterback for the Titans? So if he is, you got bum Ryan Tannehill going on the road on a Monday night if the game doesn't get flexed out, or you could have Will Levis playing quarterback for Tennessee by then. Either way scenario, Dolphins win 7-5-1.
Agreed. Then they move on. They have a lot of home games to end the season, which is a good thing. Then they welcome in those stinking New York Jets. Donna, what do you have for this one, buddy?
Revenge game. I had the Dolphins dropping the Black Friday showdown in New York. They're going to return the favor in South Florida. And all those stinking Jet fans who try to fill up that stadium, whether it's the losers who moved down here to Miami and still claim New York, even though they got the hell out of there, or if it's the Snowbirds who come down here and travel, they're going to be handed a big fat L by Tua, McDaniel, Tyreek Hill, Xavier Howard, Jalen Ramsey and company. That's a Dolphins dub.
All right. I have another Dolphins dub as well. Again, now you have Aaron Rodgers down here in Miami. We saw what happened last year. The Dolphins got off to a tremendous start against Aaron Rodgers, and we didn't know that in the midst of that, our poor Tua was concussed. We thought that he was just ruining Christmas by just general stinkiness, but in fact, we did not know that he was compromised.
You guys know.
Ergo, not a that's not nice. Ergo, not a true loss last year to Aaron Rodgers because you took on a wobbly Tua. Now Tua, who I don't know if you guys heard, is taking jiu-jitsu, is going to be fine and get through this game. And I think that they're going to handle the Jets by 2 scores and get the win. Vlad?
He's probably a brown belt by now, by the way. He's got to be.
That ridiculousness.
Yeah.
All right. That's going to be nice. But you have them sweeping us now.
Sweep, dude.
No, it's the other way around.
No, dude. Okay. That's not happening.
No way.
Jermaine Johnson. Oh, you know what? Michael Clemens. That's the guy. Second quarter, flattens Tua.
Oh, get out of here, dude.
Flattens him.
Not going to flatten nothing.
Flattens Tua.
That's just
Black Air Force Ones just flattens Tua. Mike White comes in and he throws the games for you guys. Jets beat the Dolphins.
Wow, you think Mike White
throws
he
the
can't get the
game.
revenge game?
Yeah, he's just gonna see his guys.
He just for the Jets, like he's gonna do him a solid.
No, you don't want to get hurt.
Oh yeah, well, how about this, dude? What do you ever think about this? Braxton Berrios revenge game. Ever heard of it?
Yep.
Big punt return for old Agent Zero.
It's never happened.
Oh, it's gonna happen, dude. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
You guys are the Miami Jets.
It's gonna happen.
But you lose to the Jets.
What about you, Spirit Leroy?
You know what? I was gonna say it was a loss, but you're out here trying to flatten Tua. No.
Yeah.
Revenge game. Even from me, Jay Figgy. It's a win.
Wow. All right. What about Robbie the Degenerate? What does he have for this Jets game, Week 15?
The Dolphins still struggling to beat Aaron Rodgers, not since 2010, but this time, Jets at home, they finally break through and beat Aaron Rodgers. I got this as a win for the Dolphins, 8-5-1.
All right. Then on Christmas Eve, the Dolphins welcome in the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are coming into town. I was watching the Country Music Awards last night. I saw Dak Prescott and Emmitt Smith. They introed the first award. And I got to say, Dak Prescott, good award presenter. Quarterback, I'm not quite sure. Dono, what do you got for this game?
Dak Prescott, people are starting to, the secret's out that he's not all that, but he's been one of the most overrated quarterbacks of the last 6 or 7 years. Dolphins are not going to lose this game at home on Christmas Eve. Like you said, Tobin, as long as Tua is not concussed, Mr. Tonga Vailoa is not losing on Christmas. He's going to have those Christmas pajamas on before and after the
Christmas.
game. He loves Christmas.
He's
so
not going to... Yeah, I agree. He's not losing 2 Christmas weekends in a row, and especially if he's not concussed.
Right.
Agreed. Samesies. Vlad, what do you got for this one?
It's a 425 game,
Yep.
national game.
Yep. Troy
After
Aikman on the call, obviously.
Troy Aikman. No. Aikman's.
Oh, that's right. He's Monday Night Football now.
Yeah, this is gonna be Greg O. This is gonna be Greg O.
Until Tom Brady decides he wants his job, if he wants his job.
Pretty much.
So G-Reg with the third leg is doing the call.
Yeah. Okay. You can say that. I think they bounce back from the loss to the Jets and beat the Cowboys, and everybody's happy. Dolphins win and move closer to a wild card spot or a playoff spot.
Spirit Leroy?
He's not ruining Christmas for you, Tobin.
No way.
Well, not this year. Not this year.
Not this year. Robbie the Degenerate, what do you got?
A little Noche Buena action against the Dallas Cowboys. Too many Cowboys fans will be in the stands for this one. It's a loss for the Dolphins, 8-6-1.
Too many Cowboys fans are going to be there? I don't know, man. Well, I mean, listen, a lot of road teams travel down here. It's beautiful down here.
Well, why does he sound like he's hiding in a closet when he does these picks?
I think he actually broadcasts in a closet. I think that's where he gets his best sound. All right, 2 more games for the Dolphins schedule. We'll wrap this puppy up. We got Week 17, Dono, venturing to Baltimore, which is a 1:00 game on New Year's Eve.
Sadly, that's a loss.
Yeah.
I think Lamar Jackson's going to go crazy. I know what happened last year, but I think this one's a loss.
Just, road, weather. Yeah, I got the Dolphins in a good spot anyway. I don't even know how much they need this game, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But that's just where my record is at currently. But I have this as a loss, too. I think that's a tough one. You're going out on the road. Baltimore's a good team. They got weapons now. I'm assuming they're going to be a good team on December 31st. This is the beauty of the game. What about you, Vlad? Road game against the Ravens.
New Year's Eve? You don't want to be in Baltimore. Who wants to be in Baltimore around New Year's Eve? Come on, man. This ain't an episode of The Wire. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, this is a loss because their minds is going to be heading back to South Beach to enjoy New Year's Eve in a beautiful city.
Spirit Leroy?
I agree. This is a loss. They tried so hard winning all those games that I have for them. So, they're going to have a little rest here.
I'm really digging Spirit Leroy's vibe today, especially it's much better than Leroy just staring at the screen. And then what about Robbie the Degenerate? What does he have for Week 17 against the Baltimore Ravens?
Oh, the dreaded Week 17 game on the road in the cold. This would be the 4th Week 17 in a row where they're playing on the road in the cold. The last 3 haven't gone so well. Last year was Teddy Bridgewater, who took the loss for the Dolphins in New England. The year before that was Tua's disastrous Tennessee game, and the year before that was Tua's disastrous Buffalo game. Now you got the Ravens seeking revenge from last year's 4th quarter collapse. Got that as a win for the Ravens, loss for the Dolphins.
God, that was the greatest game ever. I love that game.
Yeah.
Oh, that game was drugs. It was so good. Oh, that was so good. All right. Last game of the season, Dono. They come home. They host the Buffalo Bills. We do not know the time. This could be flexed. We don't know. We could, but it's up in the air right now. But currently, Dolphins hosting the Bills last week of the regular season, week 18. What do you got, buddy?
I had the Bills taking the first matchup. I've got the Dolphins getting some payback here in the regular season finale. I think the Dolphins will already be a playoff team even before that game. So, I don't know how much either of these teams are going to have to play for at that point, but I'm going with the Dolphins dub and a season split between the Dolphins and Bills.
I think at this point, Josh Allen has broken down. He is not going to be how about this for a swerve? He will not be quarterback for the Bills at this point because he has been running into a brick wall all season. He's already talked about this. He's got to be more quarterback than football player. He's going to go against his instincts, and he'll be worn down, maybe having Tommy John at this point. I don't know. Who knows? It's tough to say. But the Bills will be a shell of themselves, and this will be the Dolphins' clincher to top the Jets for the division. Dolphins beat the Bills at home to round out the regular season. I have them at 13-4 on the year. Vlad.
Loss by the Dolphins. I have you beating them in Buffalo, so I got to give them a upset victory on the road.
You do not see them sweeping the Bills, is what you're saying.
No, you're sweeping the Patriots. You're losing 2 games to us, but you're splitting with the Bills.
Very generous of you.
Yeah.
Spirit Leroy?
I have this as an L, but they don't really need it.
They don't need it. Yeah, little Mike White action. I like your style, Spirit Leroy. All right, let's get Robbie the Degenerate.
They were being generous with this.
Final thoughts on the Dolphins finale.
Dolphins played 3 close games with the Bills last year, even with Skylar Thompson at quarterback. The 2 of those losses were on the road, and they were able to break through and beat the Bills at home. I think they've caught up to the Bills, at least being able to beat them at home. I have this as a win for the Dolphins, and that's good enough to get them into the playoffs at 9-7-1.
I forgot his tie. All right, so I have him at 13-4. Robbie at 9-7-1. Donna, what was your final record?
12-5.
12-5. All right, 12-5. I have the Dolphins. I think I had the Dolphins.
I have 12-5 as well.
Yeah,
I have 11-6.
All of my losses for the Dolphins are on the road. I had them undefeated at home this year.
I think mine are as well.
Undefeated at home. What was your record, Spirit Leroy?
12-5.
12-5. And Vlad, what was your record?
11-6.
11-6. There you go. All right. That's a win. That's a loss. We get to some cat talk coming up next. Boy here with you on 560 WQAM. Be a shorter segment here. We got to get things back on track. Amy Audibert is going to join us next hour. We'll talk a little Heat Knicks Game 6 with Amy. She'll be on the call tonight with Jason Jackson live from the Kaseya Center. You, of course, can hear that game right here on 560. WQAM 6:15 is when preheat gets going with Alejandro Solana. But we also tonight have a little Panthers action as they have Game 5 against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Time for some cat talk here. Brought to us by our friends over at Celsius. Hockey fans, don't sit this one out when it's game time. Make Celsius a part of your play and get that energy up. Game day is fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks, the official energy drink of the Florida Panthers. Once again, Don, I'm sorry the shipment couldn't get to the mansion today, but you guys get it. It tastes delicious.
I did get a text from FedEx that supposedly a package is arriving today, so it might be that.
The Panthers tonight, they're still going to go against the rookie goalie for the Maple Leafs. Samsonov remains out as he got taken out by his own teammate a couple games ago. So we will still await. It looks like they're going to go back with Wall, which is a great name for a goalie, I got to say. It's well done. According to Jameson Olive's Twitter account, Brandon Montour, he says, quote, obviously they're a desperate team, but we have to be just as desperate tonight. It's tough to replicate that stuff because when your season is not backs against the wall, well, the Panthers are in a good spot. They are 3-1 right now, but it is hockey. You don't want to start, messing with some stuff, some pucks, weird deflections, Dono. Like, you get this tonight. I think it would be great for the Panthers if they could get out to a hot start, especially with how much Toronto was able to shut them down this last game.
Yeah, and I'm not even worried about the fact that they're playing on the road because the Florida Panthers have absolutely embraced the road warrior mentality in these playoffs. They're 5-1 away from Sunrise. They've been better on the road for whatever reason than they have at home. That's something I've talked a lot about with Bill Lindsay, who played for the Panthers and calls the games. And, sometimes it's kind of easier on the nerves because you feel less pressure when you're in the opposing team's building, especially when the home team is someone like Toronto, because their fans and the hockey media put more pressure on them than any other team in the NHL.
It's going to be a fun one tonight, man. This could be a big time party night. Vlad's not going to like this. We got to take a break. When we come back, we'll get into some heat. Remember how I was making the jokes about the Grimes stopper? How about Grimes is the Jimmy stopper? Well, Vlad's not going to like this, but apparently the New York media is really trying to stoke the flames on that. Big mistake. Big mistake. And Bam Adebayo's heard about this, and he's getting word to Jimmy. We'll tell you about that coming up next. Here with you on 560 WQAM. Get some more headlines here brought to us by a new Palmetto Ford Truck Super Center. Why buy a truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
Sorry, I'm just gonna send Vlad right now. This is just
We know trucks.
We know trucks. This is so juicy. I'm so happy. I just want to say to the New York media,
Stop.
So happy
You want to be starting something. That's why I played
Wow. I think you should let him speak and we get to see what's going on.
Well, I was just seeing our good friend of the show, Wes Goldberg from Locked On Heat. He's boots on the ground right now for shoot around. And Bam was doing media. And we had mentioned this earlier in the show today. I was just saying to Jimmy, word on the street to Jimmy Butler, who's now putting motivational quotes on his Instagram, which is a little bit off the beaten path for him. He's not typically that guy. But word out there, Vlad was saying this, Knicks fans are saying this, the media is saying this, that Grimes is the Jimmy stopper now. That's what they're saying, Dono. I'm not making that up. That's what the narrative out there is, that Quentin Grimes, now in the starting lineup, who replaced the previous Jimmy stopper, Josh Hart. He that Quentin Grimes, who got that steal on Jimmy, great play by him. Credit to him. I thought that basically ended the Heat's run there, and they ended up getting the Hartenstein putback dunk. It's a huge play by Quentin Grimes. Credit, he played all the minutes, played a great game. And now because of that, I hear that around the streets of New York, they're calling Quentin Grimes the Jimmy stopper. That's what they're saying.
I hear that's what Craig Carton is doing his entire show on today, of 4 hours, 5 however long. At WFAN, they do like 10-hour long shows. He's doing the entire 10 hours on the Jimmy stopper.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard too.
Stop with that. Okay, stop.
And now Bam Adebayo, word has gotten back to Bam Adebayo because the New York media just can't help themselves. And they were asking Bam Adebayo about Grimes being the Jimmy stopper. This courtesy of our boy Wes Goldberg at the Heat shoot around. And wow, let's see what happens.
He enjoys getting double teamed, but Grimes individually seemed to the way Jimmy's been scoring, Grimes seemed to defend him individually about as well as he's been defended lately. You get the sense that he's kind of the sort that would, I don't know, enjoy getting another shot at Grimes specifically. And
it's playoff Jimmy. We know the type of mindset he gets into when he feels some sort of disrespect, or he feel like he isn't being who he is. I think the biggest thing for Jimmy is just, I feel like he's gonna come out in that mode tonight, and you might see a different type of him, that we didn't see in New York.
Nothing was said.
Grimes is in trouble.
Mistake.
Nothing was said.
Big mistake.
Nothing was said.
He's going to tell
Lay off
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Right as he walks in that locker room, Dono. Like, you could hear the laugh. Like, Bam just gives a...
Yeah, because it was a terrible question.
Well, listen, blame your media.
Because it's like, Grimes did a good job, but it's good of a job as anybody's done.
And that was the New York media, right? Because I didn't recognize that.
I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, so it's not one of ours, so it's got to be one of theirs. So
it's one of theirs, dude. Coming in there, he wants a Grimes story, and he's going to go ask Bam about it. And Bam's just like, thanks for the fodder.
By the way, I think the word is not only getting back to Jimmy, but it's also getting to Vegas, because every time I check the line, despite the Scott Foster factor, the Heat are now -6 for this game.
I love it. Yes. That means all the money's on Miami. Keep going.
That is interesting. Tom Haberstroh, he points out Scott Foster officiating Game 6 tonight. A lot of Heat fans freaking out about this. He tweets, Miami has lost 10 straight games with Scott Foster officiating, dating back to last season. 1-12 record the last 2 seasons, 3-10 against the spread.
So do you think Foster might feel some pressure to make it go the other way? Because he's like, I can't go 11 straight against these guys.
I don't know.
No, make it lucky 11.
Listen, he had Chris Paul in a lockbox for like years, so I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't think Scott Foster cares. The guy's been around forever. Yeah. These officials, these officials who have been around a while, Donald, I don't think there's any shaking him.
Yeah, that's true.
That being said, Wow, I can't believe you guys are calling Grimes the Jimmy stopper.
Nobody said that. Stop
It's all over the
insinuating that.
street.
Dude, that's
Tobin.
all over New York.
Tobin, stop doing that. Where's Leroy when I need him?
Jimmy.
This is when you need to
I mean, what do you think that question is?
stopped.
That question is insinuating that he is the Jimmy stopper.
No, the question was Grimes so far this postseason, this last game, did a good job.
He
against
did do
Jimmy.
a good job.
Yeah.
That was it. That was it. That was it. But you wanted to,
I don't know.
You want to incite the fan base.
I'm just saying.
You want to get them all riled up.
Seems to me like Mr. New York media over here is trying to insinuate to Bam Adebayo that his teammate got locked up by Quentin Grimes, and that
Nobody said that.
I think Bam is going to say, I think I'm going to go back into this locker room right now. I got to go see Jimmy right now. I'm going to tell him, hey, turn down that country music, Jimmy, for a second. You know what they're saying out there, Jimmy? They're saying, hey, Jimmy, they're calling Grimes the Butler stopper. Well, interesting. Wow.
I don't like this.
I like how he says he's going to come out in that mode tonight. Very excited about that.
I want somebody to ask Grimes about this to see if it makes him uncomfortable. Like, hey, is it true you're calling yourself the Jimmy stopper? That's how I would ask.
You know what's going to happen, Donna, when they walk into the arena tonight? You know how they'll walk in and they're going to start walking to their locker room. They got to walk through that the media dining. I think I might shout out just to stir it up a little bit more.
See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Hey, look, everybody, it's the Butler stopper. Hey, Quentin Grimes is here, everybody.
What that young man do to you? What has that young man do to you?
Butler stopper walking in the building.
This is disgusting.
Just going to add fuel to the flame, Vlad. That's what I'm going to do.
Stop. Can we just have a good competitive game 6?
Hey, everybody, look, hey, Quentin Grimes is here. Good to see that he could take a break from locking up Jimmy Butler to come into the game tonight.
I went to Jimmy Butler's Instagram. I went to his stories, and there's a song that he posted, Puzzle of Us. And in the lyrics, he specifically points out, red sun was shining.
Oh. What does he mean by that?
Why would he do that?
Why would he do that?
Shining?
Why would he do that?
I don't know. Was he taking a shot at Devin Booker?
I don't know. Well, he should take a shot at Devin Booker because, was supposed best player in the playoffs. Interesting.
Stop insinuating stuff, Tobin. Stop starting stuff.
He also put
and then it says above a big blue sky.
He also put a quote that said 3 ways to reframe your thoughts.
Ooh.
Yep. And
that's happening.
So he said instead of it's their fault, it's is there anything I can do about this? Wow. Then he put the wrong way to think about it is I screwed up in my 20s to I've got plenty of time ahead. Deep.
And he posted another song.
And then I feel lost is I'm just early in the process, which is basically when they get this win tonight. It's halfway through. So it is early in the process. But Jimmy, that's what they're saying, dude. Just, I know Bam's going to tell you, but, big mistake by that reporter.
There's also an album cover that he posted that says "Won't Back Down" in very capitalized letters.
Wow. And you know what else? That's by Tom Petty, which is what Jimmy Butler is.
That's perfect.
I can't believe this, man. How the hell are they going to put Scott Foster on this game tonight? It's just like the NBA likes to troll. It's just like they like to troll.
You were trolling. They did that. That's good. That is your.
You're saying I deserve Scott Foster?
Yes. Heat fan base. Okay. I know we got our beef right now, but Scott Foster being the referee in game 6, that's because of Tobin. For everything Tobin said after game 2, for everything he's insinuated throughout the series, the league said, you know what, Tobin? Just for you, Scott Foster at your home.
And the Knicks fans, are shameless about it because I see them like they're celebrating on Twitter
about everything. They're shameless about everything.
Like on the one hand, they'll say refereeing has nothing to do with us ever winning a game, and then they're openly celebrating Scott Foster being assigned the game on the timeline.
That's
the Knicks fans are grasping at straws.
Because of Tobin. Tobin is like, oh, Scott Foster.
The numbers are the numbers, Vlad. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm just a man here reciting numbers from Tom Haberstroh.
This is, and I already love your excuse. So here's what's going to happen Monday, right? Here's what's going to happen Monday, right, J-Fig?
I mean, Monday we're going to be previewing the Eastern Conference Finals.
Or you'll be previewing Game 7 of the second round series between the Knicks and Heat.
Unlikely.
And you know what you're going to say?
Unlikely.
Scott Foster. Once again.
That's hard to say. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
2 to 3 games that the Knicks have won. Scott Foster's officiated.
It's a little odd. I mean,
well, Vladimir,
you see this? You see this, right? It's a little odd.
Well, Vladimir,
odd,
why'd you cover your jersey, Vlad?
It's cold as hell in here. Right?
Look, if you're so
I've been there. It's not that cold.
If you're so confident, why are you so worried about word getting back to Jimmy Butler about the Grimes?
I don't
Grimes being the Jimmy stopper.
Listen. You don't tempt fate, and you don't play with the best play. You don't mess around with the best player on the other team and the best player in the series. You let that man be. You don't poke the bear. You don't poke the bear. You see what happened when last time somebody poked the bear? They don't got a job. They don't have a job anymore. First time anybody's been told under any circumstances you're not being brought back. So no, Quentin Grimes didn't say nothing. That man said nothing to Jimmy. He didn't call him no Jimmy Stopper. He didn't call him Jimmy Dean. He didn't call him anything.
I think he's been saying it privately. I'm locking him down, is what Grimes is telling us.
So now you're reading his thoughts now. That's what we're doing now, Donald.
Let's see what Quentin Grimes. Let's see if he liked any tweets about being the Jimmy stopper. Let's look at.
Oh, now what are you doing? He's not Ben Stiller. This ain't Ben Stiller.
I don't know.
Tobin.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see what he said. I mean, if you're not so, let's see. Quentin Grimes. Oh my God. Oh wow. This is first thing that he puts is the retweet of the video. Then another retweet of the video. The guy loves him. Oh, tweet from Knicks Tape 69. Grimes is the Jimmy stopper. Like that tweet. How about that?
Oh man.
Knicks Tape 69. Listen, that's what he's saying.
This guy's reading his clippings.
I want a screenshot of that.
I want a screenshot as well.
Just take my word for it.
No, I won't.
It's there. It's there. Trust me. It's there. It's a thing. Take a break. Back after this.
I'm
to tickle Leroy's fancy. Oh, he's not here, so we're gonna have to tickle your fancy, Dono.
Oh, can't wait.
All right, pretty simple game. I'll bring up some events from this weekend. You let me know whether it tickles your fancy, Dono. Not rocket science here, dude. Let's get to first tonight, 6:40 p.m. Dono. The Miami Marlins are taking on the Cincinnati Reds, to which you may say, really? That tickles my fancy? But what if I were to tell you, youngest pitcher in Marlins history, Yuri Perez, 6'8", little protege of Sandy Alcantara, making his major league debut. Tickle your fancy?
No, unfortunately, there's not enough fancy for this to tickle it when there's so many other things going on tonight. This is gonna be lost in the shuffle. Tobin does not tickle the fancy.
It's fair. It is lost in the shuffle. It's not on you. I think they should have just saved it for Saturday. I don't understand why they couldn't have done a little flippy flop. Like if you're the Marlins, the Marlins aren't being terrible. What are they, 500 right now? Undefeated in one-run games? Not terrible. But if you're gonna get excited for a debut, like, let's go. You got to do it the right way.
And they're home, right?
No, I think they're on the road. I think they're on the road.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's maybe that's probably why they're just like, who cares? Skip Schumacher's probably just, listen, I need some good pitching.
Yeah.
Tonight at 7:00, Dono, our Florida Panthers, north of the border, take on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Game 5. Does this tickle your fancy?
The end is near. Yes, my fancy is tickled.
My fancy is tickled.
In Toronto, north of the border, in that half-assed country that they call Canada. Apologies to Amy Audibert, who's going to be joining us later. But the Panthers are ending that show tonight. Maple Leafs fans believe there could have been a comeback brewing. Your hopes are going to be dashed by a Panthers team that's 5-1 on the road so far this postseason. Tickle is fancied. Or
wow,
he's tickled.
His fancy is tickled. Meanwhile, down here, Game 6, Heat hosting the Knicks at 7:30. You can, of course, hear that game on 560 WQAM. I should mention you can hear the Panthers game on AM 790. But does Game 6, Dono, Heat, Knicks, tickle your fancy?
Completely tickled.
My fancy is tickled.
I already have goosebumps thinking about that game tonight. I'm going to be so nervous.
Oopsies.
And if Vlad's Knicks can even keep it close tonight, I'm going to be sweating all throughout. So, yeah.
Well, look, I mean, they're going to keep it close because they have the Jimmy Butler stopper and Quentin Grimes. That's what they're saying, dude.
And the extender.
That's what they're saying. All right, Dono. We also have tonight some more NBA action. Another season on the line tonight. And that is that of the Golden State Warriors, who take on the Los Angeles Lakers 10:00 tonight. The Lakers 3-point favorites. Do the Warriors keep it going? Does this game tickle your fancy?
Yeah, it tickles my fancy. Part of me,
my fancy is tickled.
Part of me wants it to be an eventual Heat Lakers finals to run the bubble back and to see LeBron in that series. But then, I wouldn't mind seeing Golden State, survive and knock the Lakers out. So I'm going to be invested tonight.
All right. What about Dono coming up later this weekend? Tomorrow, Saturday night. You guessed it. It's the XFL Championship between the Arlington Renegades and the DC Defenders. Does that tickle your fancy?
I'm going to say, surprisingly, I'm going to say yes.
Wow.
I'm going to say yes.
Tickled.
Simply because I'm going to have the adrenaline dump after tonight with the big, closeout games for the Heat and the Panthers. And then tomorrow, it's like I'm going to be kind of hungover. And then when we watch some sports, I'll check out the XFL Championship.
Do they still, isn't DR King on the DC Defenders? I don't know if he's their starting quarterback or what, but I feel like I've seen him. Or is he on Houston?
Oof. God, I'm not even sure. I've only seen the highlight clips of him scoring touchdowns. I haven't actually watched him play in a game.
Who could blame you? It is the XFL. I feel like The Rock's been doing a lot of press today. Like, please put on. Is he? He's on. He's on right now. Well, they're replaying First Take right now.
He was on the pivot.
He was on the pivot.
Yeah, you know
what's funny?
Crowder. I heard he was doing all these interviews, and I thought maybe he was promoting the revamped locker room that he paid for at the University of Miami. And then I realized, he's got that XFL championship going on. Like I thought he was promoting a movie or the UM locker room. I forgot about the XFL.
He had to. So like they revamped the locker room even more. It looks even cooler now. That's
It
pretty
looks
cool.
even cooler.
Yeah, Cristobal, that's kind of because Cristobal can hit up the Rock, right? Like he's probably got the text. You think he's got the direct line to the Rock?
Oh yeah, especially because they played together. They were teammates at the U. They were there at the same time.
It's a good connect. It's a good
Great
connect to
connect.
have. It's a good connect to have for Cristobal. All right, what about this, Dono? Harkening back to your Fighters Fury days, UFC Charlotte is tomorrow at 3 p.m. Jairzinho Rosenstrike is taking on Almeida. His first name escapes me. Does this tickle your fancy as the main event?
It does, and it's not just because I'm a fight fan, but as someone who likes to go to bed very early and someone who's also an avid sports bettor, I love the afternoon cards, Tobin. I love it. I like to sit, kick my feet up, watch myself probably lose most of my bets tomorrow in the mid-afternoon. I love it.
There you go. UFC Charlotte tomorrow. Get there. I want to see what that crowd's going to be like.
It is
Card starts at
weird.
like 11 a.m.
It is weird to do because usually when you have those early start times, it's because you're overseas somewhere and it's a time zone thing. Like that's a weird time to start a Charlotte card.
It's very strange. I'm guessing it's just.
Is there a NASCAR race maybe in Charlotte that weekend?
I don't know, dude. I have no idea.
All right, that's weird. Even if it is Mother's Day's weekend.
I was just guessing it was because of like that's the TV schedule because they probably got to put up that stupid XFL championship at night. So maybe that's
probably
why. And they got NFL, they got NBA. So UFC's got the TV deal. That's just where it fits. But it's still a strange time.
You think Disney did that for The Rock? That's why there's no Game 7 set schedule?
Are they doing another Jungle Cruise movie or something? They got to
That's a
suck
good
up.
question. Are they? Yeah. Is that why there's no NBA tomorrow, Vlad? I don't know. I don't know.
It's just very strange that a series like 76ers in Boston couldn't be Game 7 Saturday night on ABC.
Well, look, it is the Arlington Renegades and the DC Defenders. I mean, we don't get classics like this.
It's better than the Cowboys and Commanders.
Yeah, because it says it's on ABC tomorrow. So yeah, they get the main network tomorrow, dude. People in football. That's crazy. And finally, Dono, does this tickle your fancy? Game 7, Sixers Celtics. Tickle your fancy?
My fancy is all the way tickled. This is like
fancy is tickled.
This is a close second to me behind Heat Knicks tonight. I'm so intrigued by who's going to come out of that series, Boston versus Philly, because as we've talked about, if the Heat do advance, you can't really go wrong either way. You'd love to face either of these teams.
Yeah, it really is. It's a grief listening, can't lose. It's just whoever is going to be miserable, I'm going to be happy.
Yep.
And we're just going to be sitting here waiting until Wednesday to see who it is. So looking for business to be taken care of tonight. That is Tickle My Fancy. Well done, Dono. You stepped in admirably for Leroy today. Well done. Leroy, who wants to go on other shows on his vacation like Zach Gelb and Hockman and Crowder, and doesn't want to, hear from me at all.
I hear he's going to play That's a Win, That's a Loss with Jody Mack tonight.
Listen,
that'll be the day.
Oh, man. If he did that, he'd be dead to J-Fig.
Yes.
That would.
You know what? You went through this entire segment without calling Tobin an
I think
idiot.
he did it with WEI. I heard he did that with WEI.
That'd be tough. No. Eric on YouTube, undoubtedly a Knicks fan, so let's go easy on him. But he says, "Tell Bam to stop beating up my point guard. This ain't UFC." I love the fact that the Knicks fan, you would think they would just be so happy winning a game, and yet they have spent all of this time making montages and edits of Bam Adebayo allegedly being a dirty player. It's hilarious. I can't believe this is in their head like this.
This from a guy who
It's unbelievable.
Who just tried to say that Quentin Grimes is saying he's a Jimmy stopper.
Well, I'm not saying that. That's what the streets are saying.
The streets
are saying that they're calling him the Jimmy stopper.
Give me the name of the streets there, Toby.
That I don't know that reporter's name, but you have
can you send Wes Goldberg? Can he track down Bam again, start another scrum, and say, "Bam, have you heard about all this talk about you being a dirty player?"
I'm surprised. I wonder if that was asked. I'll ask Wes if that was asked, if he knows that the Knicks fan thinks he's a dirty player. But it's hilarious. They're like, this is a montage of all the illegal screens, and look at him being around ankle twist that he didn't cause, and then he accidentally hit Julius Randle in the eye. It's like he's a dirty player. And I don't know. You know what? Maybe the Heat are just a dirty team. You remember you had the famed Hawks announcer who said that they were resorting to the street stuff.
Yeah.
You had what was it? Dwayne Wade hurting Rajon Rondo back in the day. This is what we teach in Heat culture. We teach being dirty. So good. Make your little montages, Ben Stiller.
Now we got Tua training jujitsu. He's probably teaching some of those chokeholds to the Heat players.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You know,
There's
but
such
look,
violent people around here.
very violent, J-Fig. but Quentin Grimes calling himself the Butler stopper.
He's all
That's
over it
something.
too.
I know. He's out here and he's just making these claims. That's tough. Bold strategy.
Yeah.
Bold strategy. We'll see. I mean, you know, maybe he will stop Jimmy Butler again tonight. You know, I'm sure he's got 2 of those in a row in him.
He's done it before, right? Why not do it again?
Yeah, I'm sure that this guy who Tom Thibodeau didn't even want to play in this series. I'm sure that he's like, look, I've stumbled upon the Jimmy stopper. And in fact, I think even Tom Thibodeau is saying that too.
Tom is not saying that. Stop that, Tobin.
I think he is, dude. I think he is. Oh, look, it's Richie. What's going on, Richie?
Hello, Tobin. Good morning. Well, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you.
J Fig, how you doing, beautiful?
Hello.
And my boy Vlad. Listen, Tobin, you guys are shaking in your boots tonight, baby.
Definitely not.
This is big, bro. This is big. Hey, guess who's our referee?
Scott Foster.
Your boy, the 6th man.
My 6th man. You guys are going down tonight. Listen, what are you going to do 7th game up in New York?
What am I going to do if it goes to a 7th game in New York? Well, it won't.
Yep.
I mean, we're going to be having, you know, time off next week because the Eastern Conference Finals start on Wednesday. But if it were to go to a game 7, then we'll just have to break your hearts in that tourist trap, that rat nest called Madison Square Garden. But that's not going to happen tonight.
Do me a favor too. Tell your boy, your boy, stop following my people, bro. He's up to thuggery. All right.
Dude,
enough
of this nonsense with you guys thinking that Bam is a dirty player. But listen, your guy Quentin Grimes is talking a big game, saying that he's the Jimmy stopper.
He's not.
That's what he's saying, dude. That's what
he's gonna do. Stop him.
That's what they're saying. I mean, I can't believe that's bold strategy, dude. It's a bold strategy. Hey, Chapo.
Tobin, how you doing?
I'm good, buddy. I got the Goosies. What about you?
I got the Goosies too. Fig, how we doing? Dono, great job filling in for Leroy.
Thanks, Chapo.
I just wanted to call in real quick. And give my condolences to Vlad. I know that his beloved Knicks are on hospice right now, and you know, all black attire is at the
last rites tonight.
The
last
washer
rites
right now.
Yeah, dress respectful. Dress respectful.
Yeah, it's funeral attire. You know, and I have breaking news real quick for you guys.
Sure.
You know, this is exclusive. You know, I got it from a trusted source. Direct quote from Quentin Grimes.
Oh, okay.
Jimmy Butler got nothing for me.
Wow.
He's washed.
Wow.
His bag is empty.
Whoa.
I'm going to strap him. I'm going to lock him up, clamps. So with that being said.
Audacity.
He is 6, baby.
Woo!
Woo!
Man, Grimes is out of control. Dude,
Grimes
save
is
some
out
for
of
the
control,
game,
dude.
man. You don't want to talk yourself up this much. I don't know what he's doing.
He's really got,
Jeez.
Save something.
You know what's so funny about this? It's that Quentin Grimes is the quietest member of the New York
That's not what I hear, dude.
He
don't
only
think
said
so.
the word.
He called Jimmy a bum today.
And then all
Streets
of
are
a sudden
whispering.
now, I got Tobin, I got Chapo, Dono, I got J Fix saying that this guy Quentin Grimes is the ultimate trash talker.
Well, what are you saying? The New York media is going to Bam and asking him about him being the Grimes stopper or being the Jimmy stopper. Like, where do you think, you don't think Grimes is peacocking a little? I think that's got to be something,
There's no peacocking going on.
I don't know, Vlad. It feels like there was some peacocking after
There's
that
no
game.
peacocking.
Jimmy Butler is hearing different.
I mean, he called Jimmy a has-been coffee merchant. Those are
Has-been coffee merchant.
I think he said better barista than basketball player. I think that's what Quentin Grimes
That's
said.
what he said. He says.
I think he said that.
What does he think? He missed the Starbucks? That's what he's calling. That's what he
I
said.
don't know, dude. I don't know.
And all of a sudden he's washed, right? Jimmy's washed. That's what he said, right?
That's what Quentin Grimes. Look.
Worst. The worst.
Better career in country music. Is that what he said?
Wow, did he say that?
Wow, that's
I
rude.
think he said that Jimmy Butler should just retire to the Grand Ole Opry with the capitalization on old. Wow, that's tough. Quentin Grimes, dude, talking all that noise. Hope he can back it up.
Toby, you so wrong, bro.
I'm gonna be there when he's warming up tonight on the floor, and I'm gonna be like,
okay,
hey, Chris Quinn, you hear what this guy just said?
You know what? You do that. And I'm gonna be by your boy. I'm gonna go right next to Coach McDaniel.
Oh man.
Oh,
You think he's gonna
man.
be there tonight?
Of course.
I hope so.
Of course he's gonna be there.
Vaping?
He's definitely probably
I hope he's vaping.
All right, we'll take a quick break. Amy Audibert's going to join us next hour. We'll continue to talk some Heat with her. We'll take a break. Get you caught up with your headlines back after this. Welcome back. Tobin and Leroy. Take you up until 2 o'clock. Amy Audibert going to join us. Hey, the SoFlo Boat Show is coming to Miami Marine Stadium May 19th through the 21st. We've got your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to go to see new model boats. There's going to be live music and world-class food and drinks. If you guys want to go, caller 4 right now to 305-567-0560. Caller 4 to 305-567-0560. Caller 4 will get a 4-pack of tickets to the SoFlo Boat Show coming to Miami Marine Stadium May 19th through the 21st. Caller 4. That'll be your winner for today. Get us some headlines here brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know
trucks.
Trucks are known. They do know trucks. We've been saying it all day. Listen, Miami Heat, New York Knicks, Game 6 tonight, Kaseya Center. And get ready for it, everybody. Exciting game coming up tonight. You can hear that game right here on 560 WQAM. 6:15. Solana has the pre-heat for you. Tommy Tighe has the pre-game for the network, leading you into the Miami Heat audio experience with Jason Jackson and Amy Audibert with the call. Amy is going to join us in about 15 minutes. We will talk to the Miami Heat radio color analyst. And of course, you can hear her watch her on post-game coverage tonight on Bally Sports Sun and the Bally Sports app. So if you guys are looking for that local touch tonight, they will have all your coverage today on Bally Sports Sun after the game from a victorious Heat locker room. Meanwhile, you also have the Panthers. They are taking on the Maple Leafs tonight in Game 5. And that is top hats and monocles across the border. Brought them up north, Dono. That's a 7 o'clock puck drop from Scotiabank Center. And that is a 6:30 pregame. Doug Plagans with the call with Billy Lindsay, Kevin Rogers on your broadcast tonight. So getting you going, seeing if we can have a beautiful way to start the weekend with both of our teams closing out and heading off to the conference finals. That would be really, really cool. Dono, did you see yesterday that Mark Jackson had to come out and admit that he had made a mistake with his MVP ballot? He had to come out and reveal that he mistakenly had left Nikola Jokic just off the ballot. And everybody was looking because what happens is these awards come out and, you know, everybody knows the results, but they don't know the ballots yet. And then eventually once the award season is over, well, then they reveal the names of who voted for who. And Mark Jackson, it had been said like, well, somebody just left Nikola Jokic off the ballot. Like one person did. Kind of crazy. He was a top 3 candidate. It was him, Embiid, and Giannis. They got to be on your ballot. Like, them's the rules. And Mark Jackson came out and basically said he didn't have any stance. He just made a mistake. He made a mistake. That was it.
But like, shouldn't that, whether he claims it was unintended, and I tend to believe him, but you've either got to do like a better job making sure that he's submitting his ballot correctly, or just take his ballot away, right? Because at the end of the day, like it's one vote. I don't think that cost Jokic the MVP, but at the same time, it's like if this guy's not even going to do the process properly, like why does he even have a vote?
I would say he's probably not going to get a vote next year. I feel like that's probably
right.
I feel like you got to sit it out. You know, Mark Jackson certainly has credibility. He's a former head coach and he's a broadcaster. That being said, if you miss on voting and you basically just said it was an oopsie daisy, I don't know what, I feel like you got to sit it out a year. He said yesterday, one thing I live by, you make a mistake, you own it. I'm not a guy that does it for clicks or for trending. Absolute mistake made by me. You could tell I probably am thinking how I made the mistake. I put 1 center, 2 forwards, 2 guards. I wasn't even thinking. I apologize to the Denver Nuggets. I apologize to Nikola Jokic, who's not only in the MVP discussion and deserved to be on my ballot, but he's one of the greatest players in the history of the game. He's a top 10 center of all time. I own it. If you want to take away my vote or do whatever, you're more than welcome. I made a mistake. He deserves, in my opinion, to clearly be there. I would have still voted for Embiid as MVP, but with Giannis and Joker second and third, they deserve that. Incredible year by him. He continues to make history. I own the mistake and apologize. Good apology. It's a good apology.
It's a good apology, but you're also admitting
the damage is done.
Yeah, the damage is done, and you are admitting in that apology that you didn't do the research necessary at the time you submitted your ballot to submit your ballot properly. And he even said it, if you want to take away my vote, whatever. So he's admitting it, and I agree with you, Tobin. You should take away that vote at least for 1 year.
Yeah, I think he needs to. I don't think it has to be a lifetime ban. I think he needs to sit it out a year. I think that needs to be what Mark Jackson, and he can vote on other awards. He doesn't just not MVP.
Yeah,
give him all rookie team. Give him something like that. One of the beginners awards that nobody wants. Give him one of those. His ballot, the way it ended up going for him is he put Embiid, Giannis, Tatum, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Donovan Mitchell. That was his ballot. So yeah, it's pretty
not a very good ballot when you leave off a guy who's top 3.
Jimmy got 3 5th place votes. I saw in the follow up. I think 2 of them were logo. I think Anthony Chang and Tim Rounds. I forgot who the other one was. I think he was a Raptors reporter or something like that. So Jimmy got on a few ballots there. Give him a little top 5 nod.
Yeah, but like I don't even think because the postseason and the regular season are completely separate things. Like I can say Jimmy has been the most outstanding player in the playoffs so far, but I can also say he probably doesn't deserve to be even on the regular season MVP ballot, right? Like I think both things can be true. So I can understand why most left Jimmy off completely.
It's just tough because scoring does play a big role in it, and he's never going to be a 30+ a game regular season scorer. He's just not. And so, like, you would need the Heat for Jimmy to ever win MVP. You would need the Heat to do what they did last year, be the 1 seed, and he cannot get hurt. Like I think what they're doing 66 games you got to play next year, 65 games next year. There's a minimum of games you got to play next year.
Play like 64, I think 64, 65.
Yeah, something in the mid 60s you got to play next year to even be considered. So I don't know. Yeah, Jimmy winning the MVP. Honestly, the chance I thought that he had the best chance was a couple of years ago. The year they ended up getting swept, he had a really good regular season.
Yeah.
But it's tough. Like these narratives get built, and it does feel like, by December they've already decided, well, it's got to be Embiid, it's got to be Jokic. And I'm not saying they're undeserving, but it's tough to crack that nut to be in there. And I also don't think Jimmy cares. Like we see like he went into super mode with like the last 20 games of the season. That's when he like really cranked up his efficiency and he was scoring at will. And, that's all to get them geared up for this. Like he's not a regular season player, but he's also not like, I don't feel like he's coasting. I feel like he just really ramps it up in that after All-Star break mode.
And because I don't think physically, not for him being in his 30s or really for anybody else, you could play the way that he plays in the playoffs over an 82-game regular season. Like your body would be destroyed. Like he cannot play that way during the course of the regular season.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. And he does get his injuries, usually does have like, probably like a dozen, at least he'll sit out a year, which, it's kind of becoming the norm with a lot of stars anyway. That's usually, and and looking at Jokic kind of toned it down a lot as the season wore on because they had everything in the bag. And look at them now; they're in the Western Conference Finals, so it worked out for him. He's probably happy about that. He doesn't give a rat's ass about Mark Jackson's vote. Before we hit the break here, Dono, do you have the picture that I sent you during the break? Dono, what do you think of this? Sauce Gardner, he is Jetstar. What do you think about this Sports Illustrated?
Yeah, baby.
It looks like he
Vlad Jr.
It looks like he just killed somebody. Like what?
I was going like I get it. He's got some sauce on his hands, but
yeah,
kind of looks like poop juice.
I was gonna say it looks like blood.
Juice.
Looks like he's a vampire.
I don't know, man.
I don't know how to feel about it.
I don't know how to feel about it either. I mean, Sauce is like living the best life right now, as Vlad said during the break, but. Yeah. I got to look at this picture for the first time, Vlad, after you told me he was on the cover, and it looks like poop juice, dude.
I would say, if I had a son, he would look like him. And that's not, I wouldn't want to put any type of sauce on my hand or any type of liquid thing on my hand, especially that type of color and look.
I feel like you got to go with like I don't know, like a honey mustard there or something.
No,
like
isn't sauce supposed to be thicker? I don't know.
Sour, maybe a little sweet
and sour. Yeah.
It is a little thin for sauce. Like I'd like to see him with like one of those spoons that comes out of the big pot. He's like trying some red sauce.
There you go. Yeah, if you're using barbecue sauce or something, that doesn't look like it.
Shouldn't it be a little thicker if it was barbecue?
Yeah.
You sure you didn't do nothing?
I don't know, dude. I don't know what's going on there. All right, we'll take a break. Amy Audibert, she's on the broadcast tonight for Heat and Knicks Game 6. You'll hear, of course, here on WQAM and on Bally Sports Sun's post-game coverage. We will talk to Amy Audibert coming up next. 15 minutes of heat here for you on 560 WQAM. Take you up until 2 o'clock. Miami Heat take on the New York Knicks tonight. Trying to close out this series. They lead 3 games to 2. If you guys missed any of today's show, go to the Odyssey app. You guys can check that on out. Get the podcast. You guys can also go back and watch us on YouTube. Miami 560 WQAM is where you guys can watch the entirety of the show. Also got some clips up there. If you guys just want That's a Win, That's a Loss, the entire selection now up on our YouTube page. So check that on out as myself, Alex Dono is filling in for Leroy today. Vlad, Spirit Leroy, and Robbie the Degenerate all gave our picks for the 2023 upcoming Miami Dolphins season. So looking forward to that. We are expecting to be joined by Amy Audibert shortly and talk a little Game 6 with Amy as Miami Heat will be back in action tonight. You guys can watch Amy on Bally Sports Sun on the post game and on the Bally Sports app. You'll get all your local post game coverage. And if you guys are listening, you guys can hear Amy on the call with Jason Jackson and all the action from the Kaseya Center tonight. Tommy Tig will get you going with the pregame show, and Alejandro Solana gets preheat going at 6:15 for tonight's game. So very excited about that. It should be a fun atmosphere tonight. Quentin Grimes out here calling himself the Jimmy Stopper.
Stop. He didn't say
I
anything.
think he's saying that,
He did
dude.
not say that. Stop.
The media is gassing him up.
No,
you know?
no,
The
you're
media's got to be
you're
getting it from somewhere.
gaslighting
He
right
said
now.
it.
They got to be getting this from somewhere. You don't think that he's off the record just chirping to people in the media saying,
Quentin Grimes doesn't even talk to his own mother.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. It seems like he's feeling very froggy right now.
Nobody's feeling froggy, Mr. Tobin.
I don't know. I think he is. I think he's feeling all types of ways about, I got Jimmy on that possession. I think I'm the Jimmy Stopper. I think he probably actually wasn't there a mic'd up that said, Don, I don't know. Did you see that clip of him walking back and telling Josh Hart? See, that's how you do it.
I watched it this morning.
I think that's what he said. So listen, tread lightly. You know, maybe he's got something. But let's go out to the Toyota of Hollywood guest line. Shop hundreds of Toyotas indoors in one of America's largest showrooms at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. Amy Audibert joining us here on the show. You guys can listen to Amy, of course, on the call tonight with Jason Jackson from the Kaseya Center and WQAM. Our coverage gets going at 6:15, and you, of course, can watch on Bally Sports Sun and the Bally Sports app all your post-game coverage. Amy, thank you for joining us. How are you?
I'm good. I mean, you know, like everyone else, I'm just like probably feeling a little anxious. Like, please, can we just finish this tonight? Yes. It would be great. But nothing's been easy for this team this season. So why should this?
Amy, from a game 5 perspective, Jimmy had his lowest scoring output. What did you make of Jimmy's game? Like, he filled up the box score basically everywhere, did a good job defensively, but mindset, what the Knicks were doing, just what did you make of his game 5?
Well, we had a good chuckle because halfway through the fourth quarter on the radio call, we were like, yeah, Jimmy's not as loud. And then you look down, he's basically got a triple double. Like, I think that we saw his superhuman numbers in that first round, right? And like, that's, I guess, the expectation. But the thing with Jimmy, and I think we all know this, is that, and what makes him, in my opinion, a great player is that he has the ability to say, I can take anyone to the lane. I can get to the free throw line. I can generate any kind of basket, but he's got no problem saying, hey, I'm going to use my teammates this time. And I think that he did that with the assist number. It'll be interesting tonight if the game's tight at that point in time in the game, because I think everyone wants Jimmy just to go. Like, everyone's like, it's go time. He hit a mid-range jumper as that game got really tight. And I was kind of like, all right, let's go, you know, thinking that I wanted him to take every single shot every time he touched the ball. But like I said, I think that's one of the things that makes him one of the best players that we've seen, at least in the last month or so, is that he's not scared to give it up. So it puts a lot of pressure on the defense. I wouldn't mind a 56-point game tonight, but I just don't know if that's like going to be the thing. So we'll see.
Well, and is there something behind that cliche about, you know, role players usually have an easier time stepping up at home? Because, you know, one of the common denominators in the 2 losses in New York was the 3-point shooting was not really on point in either of those. So what's it going to take to get some of that going tonight?
Yeah, I think that was everyone. That wasn't just the role players, right?
Yeah.
So I think no one hit threes, and it was kind of like there was definitely some points in that game where it felt more like the regular season team. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's, hey, we're having trouble making a three, but we're still finding a way to stay in the game, right? One of the things that makes this team so unique, and I think, really shocking to anyone outside of the circle down here with their success, is that they're really gnarly. Like, their role players have had to start games. Their role players don't think that they're just role players. These are a bunch of guys that all feel like they can go contribute and to big wins. They've had to. You look at guys like Caleb, like Max, Gabe now he's a starting point guard in the NBA. You know what I mean? At this point in the season, these guys don't believe that they're role players in terms of they're not important. Again, we see Duncan now get off in the playoffs. We know Max can get hot. Caleb can hit. So, Kevin Love did not shoot the ball well. The stats don't lie, but he's got to keep taking those shots because he has the experience to get in there and take them. So for me, I think one of the most exciting things, and it's not always easy to prepare, I'm sure Brandon can agree, is that you just really don't know who it's going to be. It's got to be certain guys, right? Jimmy, Bam, they've got to have their imprints on the game. Kyle has to be in there and just orchestrate everything, which he's been doing. But in terms of shot making, it can come from a lot of different guys. So it's always kind of exciting. You just need maybe one or two to do something a little bit more above average. But there's certainly, you could put them all in the hat and draw out a name, and it wouldn't be surprising, would it? Unless Bam decides to start hitting threes or Cody wants to step
I do like that he's taking a couple of them. I actually am enjoying this. I want them to go down.
When he at the final, when the game was kind of over anyways, but he hit the ball and he got 2 feet down, and we were like, if that went in, it would have been a moment.
Jimmy mentioned after the game about them fouling too much. I know a lot of Heat fans are kind of like side-eyeing because Scott Foster's on the game tonight, but from a perspective of just the way that they fouled, they did foul a lot, Amy, and some of them wasn't even on ball. What did you make, I guess, of that being the issue last game, and how did they clean that up? Is that something that you think is an easy fix for Miami?
Yeah, no, because I think nobody is surprised with the physicality of the series. It's almost, I don't know, it sounds so terrible to say, it's almost exhausting watching. You're just like, ouch, just watching and knowing that we're going to do it for another 2 hours tonight. So get ready for that. But certainly you don't want to give New York 40 free throws. I don't care who it is or what their percentage is. You don't want a team to get to the free throw line 40 times. Miami is an undersized team, especially inside in this matchup with Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson. So you have to play lanes. You have to beat players to the position. It's just the reality of how you have to win. And staying in front of Jalen Brunson, probably one of the tougher assignments right now in the postseason for any team. But you've got guys like Caleb and Gabe who are trying to do it 94 feet the entire game. So it's absolutely incredible. But you're right. You've got to make sure that you're proactive, you're beating guys to the position, and hope that for me, I think if I want to go on record and say it, I think the officials have the hardest job because, sometimes we also, like the fans, get frustrated. They have the hardest job in the gym, and it's getting tougher. To be an official in the NBA is absolutely getting tougher. But the only thing we ever ask for is consistency, which I thought in the first half yesterday was pretty consistent. And was it yesterday? No, it's Friday.
2 nights
Wednesday.
ago. Yeah, 2 days ago.
I thought the first half was consistent in that it was physical, but they were letting a lot go. And then the second half, I think you certainly got to keep them off the free throw line 40 times.
Now, what about the Knicks defensively tonight? Because there's a lot of chatter out of New York about Quentin Grimes being the Butler stopper.
I heard you guys are chirping over there.
Keep going, guys, please.
They're chirping over there. So what about that matchup? And what are the Knicks? What do they need to try to do against Butler defensively? Because I'm sure he's going to be even more aggressive and assertive tonight.
Yeah, I think with Jimmy, you just try. You try, and it's interesting. The whole Quentin thing, I think, really took it to a different level when there was a play where it looked like he hurt his knee, actually. It looked like his knee kind of gave in a little bit, and then he got the stop, but that was one of those where his shoulder was right in. Physical game, no call, fine, but that could have very easily went the other way, I thought. So for the Knicks, I think that I don't know if you go in and say with Jimmy, we're going to stop him. I mean, they'll throw doubles at him. They'll try to change it up. I think most teams, I think a guy like that, and we can say it about other guys in this league, is about rhythm. So throwing different matchups, different looks, try to keep them on their heels a little bit is always the strategy. But again, Jimmy's a guy that's not scared to make the extra pass. So, I mean, I think they'll probably go to the Quentin matchup a little bit, maybe Josh Hart. But for me, that's when us sickos are like, come on, like keep talking, please. And I'm sure, I don't think Jimmy sits on his phone and really cares too much about what Twitter says. But sometimes I'm like, hey, Jimmy, just so you know. No, I want to say that.
I do like that. Yes, I like that the New York media was telling that to Bam today. I was like, yes, good. Go in the locker room and tell them that they're saying that.
And can I just say, calling Bam Adebayo the dirtiest player in the league is
what is that?
The best, funniest narrative I've seen this entire season. Bam's like an undersized, like hustler. He's a lot of things, but he is definitely not a dirty basketball player. Stop it.
I have heard that, like I know a lot of fan bases complain about the way that he screens, but that they're taking it to a level like they think he's actively out there hurting people. And
yeah,
I'm
like that's
what are we doing after these games? Like, did you guys win that game? Why are you making montages of Bam?
I saw that and I was like, man, and Bam, like one of them, he was like, is a rebounding foul. Like he didn't go under on his feet. He's in the paint because he's trying to rebound like everybody else. Like, I don't know, but let your game do the talking, and that's got to be what it is. I respect the passion for sure.
Talking to Amy Audibert here on the show. You guys can hear Amy tonight with Jason Jackson on 560 WQM. You also can watch her on the post-game coverage, Bally Sports Sun and Bally Sports app tonight if you guys want the local post-game coverage. Game 6 tonight, Heat and Knicks. Amy, before we get you out of here, what are your impressions of Kyle Lowry and what he's brought to the table just this entire playoffs? Like, he just looks so much more comfortable. He's been fantastic off the bench, but the element he's brought to this team from that standpoint.
You might be asking the wrong person because, coming from the Toronto area, I've watched Kyle for years in the postseason, hit big shots, big moments, direct plays. By the way, today's the 4-year anniversary of the Kawhi shot. Just want to throw that out there for the Philly people.
Show that to Jimmy too. Yeah, show him that. Vlad, get that to Jimmy.
Yeah, but for me, I mean, this is who Kyle is to me. This is 17 seasons, and a lot of them in these high pressure situations. If it was not for a LeBron James in Cleveland, Toronto would have probably got deeper in many playoff runs. That's one of the, if not the greatest player of all time. So I'm so happy for Kyle. He looks great. A couple games ago, he took a 3 late and it looked like he was like 18 years old. Like he had so much lift and bend and he looked great. So all that time he had to take off is coming into fruition right now to take care of his body because of how many minutes he had to play at the beginning of the league. It's all kind of a progression, right? Like his season is like everything's built to now. And I just think he's an incredible leader. And I think you see that late game situations, the end of the third quarter on Wednesday night when Caleb hit a big 3. You go back and watch, it was a 1 flat, so 4 flat. And Kyle literally pointed the entire thing out. Like he got the shot. He was pointing guys, telling them where to go. That doesn't show up on a box score. And in these nip and tuck games, that's probably one of the most important things is like getting your team in the position to at least get a really good shot. And so, yeah, I mean, I just can't say enough about that execution and toughness. And I mean, we can talk about the numbers and the stats, but I think just having that floor general with that amount of experience out there is just, it's incredible.
Amy, we appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Have fun tonight.
Can't wait. Amy Audibert, you, of course, again, can hear her with Jason Jackson tonight on the call here on 560 WQAM and the coverage on the TV side of things. You guys can watch Bally Sports Sun tonight and Bally Sports app. That's where you guys can watch your post game. We will play a little "You're Dead to Me" to wrap things up after this.
station. And there we are, like a magical day in the Magic City.
You're dead to me. All right. Time to get to our favorite Friday game. You're dead to me. Usually, people like to close out the week on a happy note. Not us. We like to close out the week with some misery. That's how it goes, Dono, you know?
I can appreciate that.
I'll go first. And a little, you're dead to me. I still can't get over putting this Chiefs game in Germany. I'm sorry. It really, really bothers me that they went this direction. You had all these choices you could have gone with, and they decided, you know what? The best homecoming we could have had this year is Tyreek Hill's return to Kansas City. Why don't we send it to Europe? And it just makes no sense to me. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that, even the national games they got, very weird. Like Dolphins, Titans. Why is that Monday Night Football? Did anybody really think what the nation's pining for? Ryan Tannehill's return to Hard Rock. I don't understand it.
That's easy.
I don't understand it.
That's easy. That's a trip. That's an easy trip, right, Dono? Let's go to Miami in November trip.
Yeah, it's very
or December.
It's just a strange one. I don't get the Patriots. So the schedule makers in the NFL, you're dead to me. I don't like it. The only thing that I'm a fan of is
You're dead to me.
We're ending with a lot of home games. That's cool, but some of the picks for the exposure this year, very dumb. Dono,
You're dead to me.
Who's dead to you?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the theme of administrators. So I'm going to go with Adam Silver or whoever one of his cronies in the league office decided to assign Scott Foster for this all-important game number 6 tonight. It's like, all right, we get it. We get it. You want the Knicks to get a game 7. You're rooting for the Knicks to advance because you start to believe all those cliches about how the NBA is better when the Knicks are good. Well, they haven't been good in like 60 years, and the NBA's been doing all right last time I checked. But they had to assign the extender tonight. I think the Heat can overcome that. But Adam Silver, you're dead to me.
Wow. Well said, Dono. Vlad, who's dead to you?
You.
Why?
For trying to start listen. All right. I need this win. All right.
Why?
I need this win tonight. I don't want to be paying bets off.
He doesn't want to be broke. He owes a bunch of people dinners.
I don't want to see other people eating off my losses. Look, the game is already big as it is.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to put more gasoline to the fire by insinuating things that are not happening or being said.
Well, we can't say they're not being said. Like, it started off as a bit, but then the New York media actually went to the Heat locker room.
It was a bit, and it just snowballed.
I don't know who that guy
big
is.
Avalanche.
I don't know who that guy is.
Trying to get Jimmy Butler to put up another 56-point performance. I don't need that today.
You sound nervous.
I'm nervous for Jimmy. Yes.
Is it because Quentin Grimes has been peacocking?
No, Quentin Grimes hasn't said anything.
Jimmy,
poor guy.
Jimmy,
the poor kid. He doesn't even know what's going on.
Oh.
He's playing on a bum leg. His shoulder's messed up. Hasn't said a word to the media. But there's a South Florida host who's saying that, who's putting words into this.
You know what else I heard? Donna, did you also hear that Quentin Grimes said that Jimmy Butler's soft for not playing all 48 minutes?
Now he's soft. Now he's soft.
Yeah. In fact, him and Jalen Brunson are going around. They're throwing up the 4-3 because he only played 43 minutes.
No, they're putting up the 4-3 because hopefully they turn that 3-1 to 4-3.
It's not happening.
That's
dude.
what's
I'm
happening.
Sorry. I'm
sorry. Yes, Tobin, right now
you're dead to me.
Jeez. All right. Spirit Leroy. Who's that to you?
All right, guys. Speaking of not making any sense, this has been on my mind for quite some time.
Okay.
F1 content creators.
F1?
F1.
The racing?
As we know, yes. As we know, it passed and it was last week and yada, yada, yada. Now, what really frustrates me is that they send out influencers to these events.
Yep.
But what doesn't make any sense to me is that the influencers have no idea what they're seeing.
Oh, it doesn't
they have
matter.
No idea what they're talking about. They literally post pictures of them saying, I guess I'm seeing some racing today. By the way, buy this makeup.
Love the accent.
Excuse me? It makes no sense to me. They're not even into sports. They don't know what F1 is. In their posts, they just sound ignorant, and the prices are ridiculous. You might as well have people out there that actually care for the event. I'm not done.
Wow. You got more?
You're bringing people that are wealthy and rich, and the people that even live here in Miami can't even afford to go there. So you're just more influencers, more rich people that don't care once again about this sport. You're not actually attracting fans there. It's very sad.
So who is dead to you? Just the spirit of F1?
Just
everything
people,
F1?
Everything that doesn't make any sense there.
F1.
You're dead. Basically going over there to shop.
My father loves Formula One. They should have sent him out there. Oh, he grew up in Italy. It's like Formula One's like right below soccer over there. They love it.
So he's like an OG. He's an OG F1 fan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, who's gonna go to? Do you really want to spend $80 on a Ferrari cap?
Dude, I like when we were doing that, like you got almost mad at me because I didn't even mention it that weekend. I don't care about racing.
No, you got to mention that there's racing.
I'm fine, but I just don't care about
It's
it.
a South Florida event.
I get it. Like, but you know, some people. I'm not trying to. It just doesn't mean anything to me. Like you're racing a circle, and the same guy seems like he wins all the time.
In Formula One, they don't do a circle though. It's not a circle in Formula One.
It's like
It's oval, right?
Zigzag.
Like a street track. It goes everywhere. Goes all around.
And you wouldn't know because these influencers are not doing a good job to get you there.
Social influencers.
So you're mad at the influencers and just the unctuousness of the event.
Get people who care about it there. Influence
I think Jay
me in
Fig
the
wants to be
sport.
there as social
I want to be
influencer.
there.
There
So
it is.
You want to be a social
That's why
influencer.
she's upset.
She
Yes,
wants
I'm
to be
upset.
boots on the ground with the F1. I guess the fancy drinks that are over there, like try this. Another
thing.
margarita out of a tire.
Another thing that is dead to me are the prices they released.
Oh yeah,
they released a menu.
Were they crazy?
Insanity.
I don't know. I just it doesn't do anything for me.
You're dead to me.
It doesn't do anything for me. But
It doesn't for me, and that's why it's dead to me.
This has been the event town. You had UFC down here. Dana White says it's the new sheriff in town is Miami. I do like how Dana White just stumbled upon the genius idea of Miami's a beautiful place.
Well, no, and what drives me crazy, Tobin, and I know that you've been going to like all the recent events that they've had in the last 10 years in Miami, they would always bring in like non-event type fight cards. It's like, oh, let's do like our worst show of the year in Miami, and then let's drag them when people don't show up. Like everyone knows the way this town is. It's an event town, and they finally bring a big event to Miami. They're setting live gate records. So I don't know who's been advising Dana White on the schedule for the last 10 years, but he finally figured out you bring a big pay-per-view to a city that everyone wants to travel to see it, and you're going to make some money doing that. Duh.
He feels like he stumbled upon some secret that's been here the entire time. We've been telling him, and he goes, you guys want that Brad Pickett?
Right.
Who would you guys enjoy seeing? What do you guys think about Jack Hermanson for your main event fight?
He did main event card. Yeah.
I was like, what? All right.
Mighty Mouse Johnson and Uncle Creepy main event.
Yeah. Let's just see what you guys think. What do you guys is this gonna get you guys out? No. Want stars. Give us Conor McGregor. That'll get you.
Right.
Oh, they should bring Conor McGregor.
He would get in too much trouble down here. Like they don't want McGregor back because every time McGregor's in Miami, he gets in trouble.
Yeah, he would not pass the drug test if he came here. No way. I mean, his face. I don't know what's going on with it lately.
Easy, it's the toot.
Trevor's saying that he would get arrested. He's been arrested down here.
He has, yeah, literally.
He has been arrested down here. Although, didn't he get arrested for like some guy sticking a phone in his face? I don't know if that was Connor's fault.
Well,
it was like a stupid thing he got arrested for.
Yeah, like he like threw the phone and chat. It was pretty petty what he got arrested for.
Yeah.
But it's still like you gotta be careful out there. If you shatter some fan's phone, people are gonna look at that as an opportunity to get you arrested and try to sue you.
Yeah, he seems like he's easily badgerable. You could just really agitate Conor McGregor easily. Similar to Quentin Grimes going out here and saying things about Jimmy Butler. And he's a lot like that, He's trying to be an agitator. Well, we'll see. Tread lightly, Quentin. I'm gonna tell you, Vlad, as soon as I see him walk in that building,
Tobin, don't.
I'm gonna be like,
Tobin,
that's
do
the
it.
Jimmy Stopper.
Yes.
Hopefully, Jimmy's agent will be right there.
Oh,
Be like, hey, Bernie, hey, it's the Jimmy Stopper. Pass it along. Pass it along. By the way, I've been told some new tickets have been released for tonight. So if you guys still want to go to Heat and Knicks, get your tickets. They are some that have been released and available. So check that on out. Hockman and Crowder are coming on up. Of course, if you guys, we had a packed sports night rundown for you. If you guys want to listen to Heat and Knicks, it is here on QAM tonight. Coverage starts at 6:15 with preheat. 7:30 is your tip-off from the Kaseya Center. And then on AM 790, you have Panthers, Leafs, Game 5. Doug Plagans with the call with Billy Lindsay. K-Rod will get you going with the pregame starting at 6:30. So that is your rundown for tonight. Dono, thank you for filling in the last couple of days for Leroy. I appreciate it, buddy.
No, it's my pleasure. I appreciate you bringing me on, like, now and not in July when there's nothing going on. So thank you.
Hey, special happy born day to one Jason Jackson.
That's right. It is the Jack Show's birthday.
Awesome.
It's his birthday
Jack
weekend.
Show, yeah, it's his birthday. I just want to give him a bad gift.
Oh,
I
it
want
is.
him,
It
I
is
want
a.
him to work on Monday.
It's a busy birthday weekend. It's Jax's birthday. It's my mom's birthday on Sunday. She's got a Mother's Day birthday crossover. So happy birthday to my mom. She's
born day, Mr. Stokes.
she's out there, and we'll take her out for Mother's Day / birthday this weekend on Sunday, and then Monday, that's Leroy Horde's birthday / Sophia Tobin's birthday.
Oh
So,
wow, and / Game 7.
no, that's not gonna happen.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. This is gonna be the last time for the Butler stopper.
He didn't say it. Stop saying that he said it.
He said it, dude. It's not my fault. I can't believe the New York media went to ban with that. Idiots. All right, everybody. That is our show for today. We will talk to you guys on a celebratory Monday.
But I mostly get, like, if I get veal parm or chicken parm, I ask them if they have risotto. Love risotto. And then this one place I go to, they have lobster and shrimp risotto.
Wow.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Delicious.
I've never seen this man that's happy before.
Lobster
Make sure you clip that.
and cheese. It's lobster with cheese risotto and shrimp.
Wow.
Yuri Perez, Marlins top prospect, making MLB
Debut.
What? I feel
Debit?
like people, I don't know.
The butt.
You can say it two different ways.
It's always been debut.
You can say it two different ways.
It's always been
I'm
debut.
Hispanic. I'm sorry. The MLB debut.
That should get out of jail.
That sounds so fancy to me.
Minus
what they
one.
call it.
Debut. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I'm definitely clipping that.
I can't speak clearly.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Jerry Springer died.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I figured you would have found out during the show.
You are not the father.
That's
more.
the wrong.
No way,
That's more
dude.
Povich, dude.
Jesus.
Listen to